Anything for sure. Oh, started the show and just look all kinds of ugly. Big screen off in the corner. That's how it goes, man. You know, moved it to a different side. Also readjusted some stuff on my desk. Added a kind of like a lifted platform to put my camera in a better place. And so I feel like that's looking good though. So shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all being here behind the scenes. I do think, and shout out to Yobi for that. I do think that we might do like a behind the scenes for subs only, where me and Pong are like just in here just talking smack, unless we really getting in our bag and getting to some personal shit. But you know, maybe people really would like that. You know, we have some good conversations in the background. I think y'all would have liked already. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna be on Pong's side for a second until he comes up on cam. So y'all will be all right. We'll change that as we get to it.
I'll get on cam now. I'm done crying.
Hey, no rush. I still got to get the coffee in me, and I was wrapping up my food there. And of course, now my camera just doesn't pop up at all. So, hey, it's how the cookie crumbles, man, ladies and gentlemen. How are y'all doing this fantastic Saturday morning? Let me know. Happy early Memorial Day to y'all, by the way. Let me know how y'all feeling in chat, baby. So I think I'm feeling all right. Been doing a lot of modding here recently, man. Just there's something so addictive about being able to just I wouldn't say finagle a system, but when you start getting into program files and messing with stuff, and this goes with that, and you want to add on mods and looking at file types and all that good stuff, it gets addictive, man. It gets addictive. So I was messing with Skyrim because, again, I know I've talked to y'all about a little bit how I wanted to possibly stream that. And I say that I want to play Skyrim, started playing it, got through in the very beginning, just got the river run or whatever, right there, just did a mission, came back, feel like I got everything moving, feeling good, moving good. Camera's in a good spot because, you know, I play in third person. Camera's in a good spot. And just more and more games come over the horizon. Because I won a giveaway, actually, which I thought was actually also really dope. I won a giveaway for a game called Steel Seed.
How did I miss that? Oh, Steel Seed? I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I got that wish listed, I think.
Yeah, I think you do too. I'll pull it up on screen here in a sec. But yeah, it's a game called Steel Seed. It's supposed to be like a stealth, futuristic stealth type game.
Yeah.
I was interested in it. I was going to end up buying it anyway because it was for a decent price. I think it's like $29.99 or something like that. It's also another one of those games I've seen recently where on Steam it's a very positive, but on Xbox and PlayStation the game's a 5 out of 10. I was so like when I looked at the reviews about it, because I haven't seen anything else. I haven't watched no gameplay, nothing. But I pulled up Steel Seed and I saw the reviews for Xbox and PlayStation. I was like, damn. It's like, this game didn't do that great. I was like, maybe I'll just hold off. I'll see what happens. And then I just looked at what it said for Steam. It was like, yep, very positive. People feeling good. They're like, yeah, it's an indie game and it has some little things here and there. But other than that, it's an interesting story, has some cool mechanics. You know, it's got some real potential here. It's something, you know? And you can see a bunch of just different reviews essentially saying that. All of them giving it thumbs up though, you know, and these aren't like, they're not paid for reviews. They're like people who bought the game. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I ended up entering a giveaway for it just off the cuff. And it's actually from the publisher themselves who was doing ESD Digital. But they were running it and they were doing it for 3 winners. I ended up winning and I haven't jumped into it yet, but it is supposed to be like a 9 to 15 hour game, which is again, a south of midnight type of game. You know what I mean? Something else that I can get through. So maybe I'll jump into that because I do have Night Rain coming out next week. And I keep forgetting that the game is so close to fucking releasing, bro. It's literally next Friday. And if everything plays out, me and my brother are probably going to be on that that Friday, and I'm probably going to do a stream. Probably going to do, since I'm off that week as well, probably going to be doing streams all that weekend, especially after the show, of us just grinding Elden Ring Night Rain. So if you're into that, you want to see some, maybe get us get frustrated, cuss at the game, whatever the case may be, come check us out. We'll probably be doing that. And I'm gonna try to fit in some more Skyrim stuff. I have been trying to post like more gameplay clips, because again, I know I've mentioned previously, I'm trying to like clear up my back end. I have so much shit on my fucking computer, bro. I need to put it somewhere. Like, I just can't continue to sit on my hard drive. If I can upload it to YouTube, I've been doing that. I started doing that with my Doom gameplay, and it's actually gotten some decent traction. We got like 1.5 on one clip, and then 3K on another clip, and views and whatnot, and getting some decent engagement. So I'm gonna start posting more of my gameplay. I think I got a good layout of how I want to do stuff and everything. So expect that to be coming to Living Split Screen. Again, I talked about it before. I want to treat Living Split Screen kind of like TV. Every day you come on, you got something new that's coming, whether it be clips, whether it be us talking for 15, 20 minutes, because I do think I want to start leaning into that. For other people who like shorter form content, 15, 30-minute pieces of us chopping it up or whatever, and just going from there. But my main focus right now is just to get clips from our show, because I got it set up and everything. My Stream Deck, for whatever reason, is completely kaput. Don't know why. Unfortunately, I didn't think that I was going to need a warranty, so I didn't get a warranty on it. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be all right, but ever since I moved, it hasn't been the same. It lights up, doesn't do nothing else. So that's been kind of frustrating. That's the other thing I've been dealing with, but because I was going to use that for all of our fantastic multimedia stuff that I wanted to do, but that fell through the crack. But so main goal is just getting some shorts out there for us, and just continue to have a good time getting these games in, man. Getting these games in. So, but if you're new here, this is Living Split Screen. It's a non-console centric platform talking about everything going on within the gaming industry. We like to take that RTS approach. That's that real-time strategy where we pull ourselves out of the world, look at the darker crevices of that map, pull our resources together so we can not only build up our own foundation, but also the foundation for the potential 2 to 3 billion games that are out there. I am one of your hosts, Steel Rain, and before I get into more of my intro, I gotta also tell you, you can't forget about that ECP, that educated consumer perspective, because again, me and Paul do not work in the gaming industry, with his two dudes with plenty professional knowledge behind us, and also gaming experience and knowledge that we bring to the table, play a little armchair CEO, have some fun conversations, and just kind of give our outlook on how we see things happening within the gaming industry that we love so much. But again, I'm Steel Rain. That's T is a 7 everywhere. Ooh, thank you, baby. They don't have a dome top. That's interesting. Got me some McCafe. I'm one of your hosts, Steel Rain. That T is a 7 everywhere. X, otherwise known as Twitter, is the easiest place you can get that information. I'm starting to upload stuff on YouTube too, so check it out there. TikTok, whatever the case may be. It's all under the same name. If you want to start seeing more clips and stuff like that as I post them, because again, I am trying to offload a lot of stuff. Check it out there. But I gotta introduce the uncanny gentleman himself, the brother from another who I have not spoke to all week. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he's been getting into behind the scenes. But he is the X-Men that is not Cyclops, nor is he Iceman. But he has been hanging around Jean Grey. He's been getting a little of that Phoenix action as he does on a week-to-week basis. But my guy, my confidant, the one and only Pong. So what's going on, brother, man? How are you feeling? And talk to the beautiful people, man.
Trying to settle in, brother. Trying to settle in here. Came in hot, so good start to the morning. You
Same.
Were coming in hot as well, so just trying to get settled in. Sorry, everybody. I don't like to eat on screen, but I did want to get on camera so Steel could fix up our appearances for you guys. But I was trying to finish my meals real quick. Hey, it's another beautiful Saturday. It's my last weekend in my 40s, Steel, and I don't know how I feel about that, brother. Yeah, my birthday's on Tuesday, so yeah, man, this is it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet. I'm not one of those dudes who's overly,
big 5-0.
Yeah, it's a big 5-0.
Big
Yeah, it's
5
a big
Okay, okay.
yeah, man, pretty crazy, man. Anytime I start thinking, I'm just not a big guy on the, obviously as far as, oh God, I'm so far along, man. 50, it's over with, bro. I'm not that dude, right? So I've been fighting Father Time forever, and I'll continue to fight Father Time. Him and I got some more rounds to go here, but yeah, so it's a little bit bittersweet, brother. It is a little bit bittersweet, man. Anytime I do start thinking a little bit about shit, that's really fucking old, man.
Hey, hold on, Mishy.
Yeah.
My guy, you can't be sleeping on my guy Pong. He said big 50 equals Blue Chew, baby. Nah. We got good blood flow over here, baby. Don't worry about all that. Nah, I'm playing. I don't know Paul's situation. I don't want to put him on blast nothing like that.
Anyways, Cialis is great for supplementation. Anyways, by the way,
There you go.
They actually, yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Anyways, so yeah, man. But anytime I do start feeling a little bit down, I do remember the fact that Archie Bunker was 48 in All in the Family. So point. Edith was like 45. I think I'm doing all right. I think I'm doing all right.
Handle yourself, bro.
I think I'm doing all right
for that.
For what people looked like 50, 60 years ago in the 40s, man. Like that's pretty nuts, bro.
I mean, you look like you're in your late 30s, if anything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right. That's why I want to keep fighting.
That's good.
I keep fighting. So, but yeah, no, man. Gonna enjoy the nice long weekend. Obviously, got a ton of stuff to do, but gonna enjoy the long weekend. I actually did take a Tuesday off as well, so I'm gonna have a nice 4-day weekend here. So I'm gonna enjoy the weekend, man. Because I haven't gotten a ton of gaming in this year. I was telling Steel behind the scenes. I've kind of told you all too here. That this is a big year for me, and I got a lot of shit coming up at the end of the year. Big changes at the end of the year. Big, massive life changes at the end of the year. So it's going to get more and more busy for me as I start heading in the second half for sure, which sucks because there's a lot of great gaming to be done. But my game time is getting a little bit more limited as I go along because I just got more stuff to do. But I did still. I've been grazing like a mofo.
As you do,
yeah. But even more so, bro. Like, because it's nuts. I'm just hopping all over the place because obviously, continue to progress little by little in Expedition 33 because I love that game, right? Obviously, so continue to progress little by little in that. Then I got Doom, so then I'm trying to play some more Doom, and trying to start, getting through that, and that's been a freaking blast. This is, I have to go back. We're always creatures of the moment. So it's tough to always, it's really tough for me to go back and always compare things, right? Mm-hmm. But I'd have to go back to like the first couple Dooms to say that I enjoyed a Doom this much. And this might be my all-time favorite so far this early on, even. I think I'm in chapter 5 right now or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
Anyways, but this might be my favorite Doom. And I kind of had that feeling. I kind of, when we were talking about Doom on the lead up to launch and after we saw it, and especially once we saw it during the developer direct, I said this probably would wind up being my favorite Doom or had the potential to be that one. It was really high on my hype list this year. And it is that. It is a freaking fantastic game. I love every bit of it. I just did that first mech level as well. Really love the mech level. I just love the feel of it. I don't care if it's not big and expansive. If they made a Doom Titanfall game with mechs versus demons, I was thinking about that when I was playing. I was like, they might have something here. Multiplayer Doom, but based on the mechs and the demons.
Yeah.
And had that'd be kind of dope. That'd be kind of dope. So I was playing through that. I was enjoying it when that mech I forget his name, but the mech leader shows up, bro, and he lights that dude up with those 2 laser cannons, bro. I was like, yeah, what? This is freaking awesome. I love the cinematics in this game as well. So I'm having a great time with Doom, of course. What else? Been playing Warriors Abyss, of course. Continue on that run. I'm going to be at 100%. I think I only have 2 more runs to complete, and I will have 1,000 out of 1,000 achievements, which is a ultra rare feat for this dude right here. I don't achievement hunt. I don't care. Like I said, they did a great job with the achievements in Warriors Abyss. This is one of my favorite games of the year so far. Low key, under the radar, that a lot of people aren't gonna play. I absolutely love this game as a roguelite. I absolutely love it. And again, it helps that I love my Musu fighters. It helps that I love X-Force as a developer. But man, I just think it's great. I just love Warriors Abyss. So I've been rocking out on that. And then of course, Blades of Fire.
Okay.
Which obviously I had high praise for through the demo. In fact, it wasn't on my day one get list, but after the demo, this is why I love demo steel. This is why I love Game Pass.
Talk about that. Mm-hmm.
When you do it right, this is what can it create. And I saw a lot of people in the same boat as me. Now the reviews have come out, and it's one of those games that are hit or miss. It's one of those games that you either love or you don't like. Really? I went through all the reviews, and again, I read it's sitting at a 72 right now. Okay. This is if you read the positive reviews, Steel, you would think this is an 8 or an 8.5, right? If you read the positive reviews. If you read the negative reviews, you would think this is a 5 or 6. That's why I say it's one of those games that is in between it's one or the other. Nobody's really in the middle on this thing. It's one or the other. A lot of the people, because I read the bad reviews, I love to see what the bad reviews have to say and see if there's some consistency there. There is a group of reviewers, and we've talked about this in other games as well, and other situations throughout our time of podcasting, because it has come up. There is a group of reviewers nowadays, and I don't even know if it's a younger generation or just reviewers who started gaming because they got a job in this industry. But they really want their hands held all the time.
That's a problem
in
this game, they're saying?
They're saying it doesn't hold your hands at all. They hate it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. I mean, there's other games that have done that, so that's just a knock on this one. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's consistent with the bad reviews.
Oh,
okay. What was consistent with the bad reviews was they didn't like the level design, which to me so far. Now again, I'm in the second half. I'm in the second level, right? I'm in the second part of the game right now, right? Because the demo was the whole first part. So I'm in the second part now, going through new biome,
kept your progress,
new
right?
monsters. Yeah, it keeps your progress.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was awesome. It popped achievements right away and everything, which was freaking fantastic. I love that shit. But they don't like the map and the level design. And they don't like the map design, the UI, because it doesn't show you enough. And it makes you guess. Well, that's part of the exploration, Steel. And then they have a series. Now, again, if it's not your bag and you want things to show you everything, that's fine, right? Yeah. It's just that this is why you got it. Sometimes if you're going to look at a score, and the only reason why I was curious about the score is because it's a AA game. It's not a AAA game. It's a AA game from a really cool developer. These are the guys and gals who did Metroid Dread as well. If you guys didn't know that, along with Castlevania Lords of the Shadow back in the day. So they've helped out a lot of games too. So this is a studio that's been trying, that finally does something on their own, kind of like their own unique game. And so I was really interested in the previews, and I was hoping, or the reviews, and I was hoping that the reviews, I was hoping it would hit closer to an 8, because obviously for the masses, that's when it starts getting attention. And then when I started seeing the reviews, and it was back and forth, one positive, one negative, one. Okay, so this is why you got to dig in sometimes if you are looking at the scores. Okay. Because you get a better idea of what the reviewers, if they write the reviews well, and again, that's another problem. But again, if they write the reviews well, you can get an idea if it's something that they just aren't about, but you are okay with, which then nullifies why they have a problem with the game, right? And I think that's important. And a big one was the map design, like I said, and the level design. For me, this game encourages exploration, Steel.
Okay.
It encourages exploration because you're constantly gathering materials to build new weapons, right? So there's always something to find, right? Whether you're breaking barrels to collect wood or iron or whatever the case may be, there's always things to do as you're walking around. It encourages. I have had zero problems figuring out where I need to go. It also sounded like a lot of reviewers didn't realize you could mark a spot on the map too if you needed to get back to it, and it shoots a huge light up in the sky, like we've seen in plenty of other games, and lets you know where to go. Some people just don't. They did feel like they did that, and then some people had a problem still during the levels. They have all these little weird, I want to call it like challenges and puzzles kind of sprinkled throughout the level randomly. Right? So you'll come across shit that you've never seen before. Like I just walked in that new area, and all of a sudden there was a stone statue of a swordsman with the sword in the ground. And I tried to hit it, whatever else, after I beat there was a guy guarding it, and I hit it, but then your companion, right? I forget his name, the kid, goes, oh, yeah, you need this, I forget what he called it, like spiritual crow or some weird crow. It should be close by. Sure enough, there's an icon up on your compass to go find the crow. And you got to chase the crow around the map, and eventually he flies back and lands back on the stone statue and brings it to life. Of course, then it's a battle with like a mini boss, right? Okay. Of course, that's what happens. But you get good shit from it, of course. But these are like little challenges sprinkled through on. There was one in the first level where you found this knight, and if you looked at the knight and you examined the knight, he was dead. He was a skeleton. He was laying up against a tree. There's a backstory to the knight, and they're like, oh, if we can find his name, right? We should try to find his name so that he's remembered. Well, then you just got to go try to find where the location of his name is. And no, they're not giving you a billion clues, but if you're exploring the level, you're going to come across his name written on a wall. And then you go back to him and you get a reward for finding his name. Bro, this shit's been going on way back in gaming. But reviewers nowadays, like some of the reviewers were like, and these little things that they have you do, there's just really no guidance. There's no guidance. You don't really get to know where you're supposed to go. And it's just kind of like randomly you find things. You go around and it just becomes this hunt that just takes away from the game. What? Like we've done this in a billion games before. So that's when I just start scratching my head and I go, okay. Then that's why it hit with me, because then I read the positive reviews, Steel. Okay. And the positive reviews were all the stuff that I found, right? That I loved. I saw also a couple reviewers say that the combat was too easy. Again, okay, it's not a Souls-like game. Okay, it has Souls-like stuff to it. But as far as the combat, like I said, it's much more forgiving and it's much difficulty. Easier. Yeah, there is difficulty settings. Yeah. Yep.
What levels of difficulty? What options do they give you? You recall?
3. There's 3.
Okay, there's 3.
Easy. Yeah, 3.
Easy, normal, hard, probably.
Yeah. Yep. So
okay. But did anybody say what difficulty they were playing on?
Of course not. But they're reviewers, so you know they're playing on easy or normal.
Right? Oh, okay. So, gotcha. It's too easy though.
Yeah. So for me, it's just like when I was reading the reviews, I was like, okay, well, this makes sense. I was happy to see that there was plenty of reviewers who did find the same things that I found in this game that clicked for me the same way, to the point in the demo that it clicked. To get back to my original point, that the demo clicked for me so hard, that I made this a day one buy for this team.
That is important.
And I gotta give a shout out to the team, Mercury's team. Again, they are also extremely active on X and extremely happy to see their game doing well. Whoa. And thank everybody for posting about their game. Their social media manager, whoever's handling it there, is doing the job the correct way. Yeah. And this is what I taught. We see too many games nowadays that ignore this part of it, but retweeting people's screenshots saying we love these pictures, keep sending them.
Stuff that I always
thank you so much for the positive. Yeah. Thank you for the positive remarks on my game, or on our game, etc. The lead up to launch was beautiful. And now after launch, you're doing the exact same thing. Yeah. Love it. Love you guys for doing that. Want to support these smaller teams now that we see, I don't know, a person like Randy Pitchford, who I normally laugh at, come up this week
Jesus Christ.
and throw some more cold water all over the AAA space with his comments.
What did he say? If you're a true fan, Pong, you should spend that good old 80 bone.
You'll find a way, Steel, if you're a true fan of Borderlands. We'll get to that because that's a whole other conversation. The AAA space, it's a coming to Jesus time. It is time to reset. As I posted this week, it's a hard reset time for the AAA space. They need it. Because these entitled people in that space are ridiculous. Like I said, we'll get to that. But I want to start, and I always have, but I want to start more, Steel, if this is the way AAA is going, supporting these smaller teams that are now bringing out these fantastic games where they're AAA like Expedition 33, or whether a AA space that I love here with this game, Blades of Fire, or Mind's Eye that's coming. I do want to try that one out too. I hope they have a demo for Mind's Eye because I do want to play that one as well. Or the straight up indie scene. I want to support those people more and more. And I think it's more than ever right now. I think it's important that if our money's not going to be going towards these $80 newfangled AAA space games as much as we used to buy the $60 games and even the $70 games, if more of us are going to take a stance on this $80 mark, then I think that money should be going to the smaller teams who are doing the right thing. There was also an article this week, and I forget it, Steel. I was going to send it to you. I sent you the video of what's his face talking about it. But there's an article this week from one of the dev. Oh gosh, darn it! Now I can't remember. It's one of the devs. It's one of the dev journalist sites that kind of gets the devs pieces or perspective on the gaming industry, and I forget the name of it. Anyways, they wrote how these indie and smaller team games like Expedition 33 are bad for the industry now. Steel. Because not as many people get to share in the wealth, Steel, because AAA employs so many people, which is part of the problem. But this article was, but this article was basically saying that these smaller teams' success, while it's cool to see, takes away from the big teams. Okay. Anyways, I want to give my support to the smaller teams as we move forward. I think it's fantastic, and I want to end it here because
you said it's from the game developer.
Yeah, I think it's from the game.
Is it an article called "The Deprofessionalization of Video Games"?
Yes, the deprofessionalization. That's going to be the new word you hear. That's going to be the new word you hear. They're doing the same. This is the playbook, folks. This is why I talk about it. Again, we do pretty much straight gaming. We veer off every once in a while to other topics, but this is what I've talked about with the mainstream journalism. As a whole, they all use the same playbook because they're all cut from the same cloth. They are now doing it in the developer space by calling it deprofessionalizing game development, meaning that, we've got people who aren't necessarily gone to 4 years of college and toiled in the industry for 10, 15 years making games and making money now.
Which is proving that you don't need that, but yeah.
Much like the same bullshit they're trying to pull, it's too late for them, about podcasters and about alternative media taking over where the mainstream media is now dying and their influence is gone. Now we're seeing it that playbook carry over into the actual game development world, saying, this isn't a good thing for indies and double A's and small teams to be creating games that are just as good and out succeeding the big boys. We're in an upside down world, folks. We are in an upside down world. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to give my support to these smaller teams. Love Blades of Fire. Go check it out. I think the demo is still available. Go check it out. So I picked that up this week and again, continued on. And I love it. The only thing, we need a photo mode. And they already said noted. I hit them up and I said, got to get a photo mode in here for this game. And they gave me the noted. So hopefully in a patch down the road, they put in a photo mode on this game because a lot of people are taking tons of cool screenshots. Again, is it groundbreaking? No, but is it very good looking? It's very good looking. I had one crash on the Series X so far, and that's it. I haven't had any real performance issues at all besides that one crash. And so that's it. Been having a blast with that. Real quick, before I give it up, I want to shout out another smaller game that I talked about months ago. It was available, I think on Xbox. Was it Xbox? I think it was Xbox. Maybe it was PC. I can't remember. God, which one was it? Anyways, it was early access game that I think Xbox had it during ID at Xbox. And I played it and I came here and talked about it. It is now getting some play because they went to version 1.0, and that's Avalon Tainted Grail. And this is
the dark RPG, right? The dark fantasy.
It's a dark Bethesda game. Think Morrowind, but dark. And I've been watching some streamers play this 1.0 version, and this team has done a ton of work. It's a small team. Actually, I think it might have started as a single guy, and he might have a few helpers if I remember the story correctly. He's got like, there's like 200 and some missions in this game. There's like 300 NPCs throughout the game. He's got all these different enemies in the game, and it's open world RPG with definitely a little bit more hardcore in some aspects than like a Bethesda game.
Saying.
But it is fantastic. I played the demo and said there's something here. 1.0 from what I've been seeing from the streamers, outside of some performance issues, which they have to clean up on PC, has been excellent. And they've really done a lot of work. So I just wanted to shout that one out because that is a cool thing. Like I said, these smaller games, these smaller teams bring in experiences that are competing with the big boys. I'm all for this shit, man. I am all for this. This is great stuff. So yeah, that's been my week, Steel.
All right, well, I don't have too much to add on either, man. Like, I know I got Forza Horizon 5 gameplay up for you guys here. I didn't play Forza Horizon 5 at all this week, and I usually don't like to do that, right? I usually like to bring gameplay of something that I've been playing this week, and I did play some Skyrim. I played a couple hours of Skyrim. Then I jumped into Novus version 6, and my game crashed too many times, and that was frustrating. So I said, fuck that. I also deleted my save from Novus version 5, so I couldn't go back. So I had to start over again. So I lost another, 5 hours of gameplay time doing that. So I've been, indecisive about what build. Lorerim 4.0 just came out, which is supposedly one of the most closest to the traditional Skyrim experience that people talk about. Although I think there's even another one. Again, you get into this whole mod conversation. The community is fucking massive about this shit, bro. And they're talking about which one is better, which one is more of the core experience, which one is more fantasy-like, which one is this, which one is that, what does this offer, what does this offer? So for like an example, I continue with Novus because apparently Novus has, it's one of its mod packs has seasons built in. So as you're progressing through the game, you'll see the game change. You know what I'm saying? So the time that passes, because when you take naps and sleep and stuff like that, it tells you the hour, the day, and whatever in its language. So it all translates over, so it makes the world feel a little bit more alive. But I've been doing it with the intention of also wanting to possibly stream it, right? And show it to you guys. So again, I removed all that stuff. I talked about that before, but so that's been a majority of what I've been getting into, just behind the scenes, messing with folded files and figuring out this and figuring out that, trying not to break the game, changing this, and then, my controller, I need the good controller settings. So let me make sure that's where it needs to be. So I've been having some fun with doing that, man. Other than that, I did end up jumping back into some Off the Grid yesterday, which if you're not familiar with what Off the Grid is, and I'm actually surprised I don't have any gameplay of it. I think I may try to pull that up. But anyway, Off the Grid it started off as a battle royale extraction kind of shooter. It's a third person game too, by the way. This game also is one of the games that has that NFT kind of thing in it, where there's things in game, there's cosmetics and stuff that you can earn. There's currency in game that you can earn that you can actually unlock stuff with, and unlock like armors and other stuff. And what you can do, you can either keep that stuff just as, I grinded for it, cool. But if you spent 100 hours grinding for something particular, and that's something that you're grinding for is actually worth $500 in real life money, they created a market to where the people that like to grind out there have an avenue to possibly make some bread just from playing the game. You know what I mean? And just casually doing it. I haven't really thrown myself into the system. One of their criteria is getting into what they call their pro membership, which is kind of like the battle pass, right? But that allows you access to their market, to the auction house and all that stuff, where you make all these transactions and then you can turn that currency into real life money. It's just, the concept of it is interesting. I know these companies have been talking about NFT games for some time. The main reason I jumped back in is because I've been part of the closed beta for some time, right? Kind of playing it behind the scenes or whatever. I guess what you could consider, I'd be a founder if you would consider that. I kind of bounced off of it because the controls on controller didn't feel the greatest. Again, I'm the dude who plays PC with controller only. So don't never mind that, right? People can feel however they want to, but I'm not the keyboard and mouse dude anymore. But I jumped off of because it just doesn't feel great. They did some updates, also released Deathmatch yesterday, and the game is officially supposed to getting its full like rollout for consoles as well. Oh, well, it's coming to Steam, excuse me, because it's already on consoles. But it's coming to Steam, which again, that opens it up because it's only on Epic currently, at least on PC. So I think this game is about to have another renaissance, right? Especially for a genre that seems to be missing competition, third-person multiplayer style games. I think the next one we're going to get is Arc Riders. Arc Riders is like, people are anticipating that the game may end up releasing June 6th. There's like little conversation being had. Apparently there was some details that went out. I forgot what it was. Yeah, for Arc Raiders. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Arc Riders. Sorry.
No, sorry. If I said Arc Riders, I meant Arc Raiders. For Arc Raiders, Arc Raiders, apparently we're possibly getting a release date for June 6th. Maybe. Which is around, Summer Game Show, Xbox Showcase. It's supposed to be around that time. So we'll find out. That's happening within the next 2 weeks. And I think next week will be the week we'll do our kind of predictions or whatever. But I did see Nixie mention something in the chat. He said, what happened to the Monster Hunter channel? Is that done or are you coming back to it? I was going to specifically play Monster Hunter and just kind of float things out with that. I haven't necessarily, I'm not off of the Monster Hunter train per se. I don't have any issues with the game. I think more so for me, and I mentioned this before, if I'm going to play Monster Hunter, it's going to be the only game that I play. You know what I mean? Because it takes time. Right now, I could keep up with the game right now and be playing it off and on, but there's other games that I like to play, and unfortunately or fortunately, I see it kind of both ways because I do play with that in my mind. Sometimes I sit here for that exact reason. Because I do podcasts, right? Because we talk about what's happening in the game industry, because I want to be informed, because I do want to touch on more games, I will blame partially. Pong has turned me into somewhat of a grazer on some levels, right? Now, again, I still do go through and beat games, right? Especially when the games are shorter, whichever the case. But there are also some other games that I've been trying to play for some time, like Skyrim as an example, that I would like to get off of I would like to get that monkey off my back before I continue to progress forward. Because I'd be lying to y'all if I would say, oh, well, I'm not going to play Stellar Blade. No, I'm going to play Stellar Blade. And I'm going to play it on release. You know what I mean? Like, I could be playing Elden Ring Night Rain, and because that's my style of game, and I was already looking forward to it previously, I want to play it when it releases. You know what I mean? And talk to y'all about it, record gameplay. Now, that's the main thing that I've been kind of fighting with as far as like a creator, is that a lot of the time I just don't know what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I do the stuff for Live and Split Screen, right? And I'm still trying to, I'm very indecisive when it comes to this stuff, because it's a lot, man. You start getting into it. Oh, I have content of my own that I want to do. Okay, people say that I'm good with my voice. Maybe I should use my voice. And you start recording stuff and you're listening to yourself back like, it's a lot of me questioning stuff, which I'm still trying to figure out how to get out of that as far as this stuff goes. You know what I mean? Like jumping into content creation. Now, a lot of people just say, fucking just do it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I'm trying to get over, is that fucking just do it. You know, hey, stop overthinking it. Put it together. You've been putting together. Again, I haven't had people tell me if our thumbnails are great or whatever the case, or if the art that I put out there is great. I know Pong tells me, but that's my homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't have other people like, you know, but it's not like I'm out there selling it either or putting it in front of people. So for me, it's just like, I feel like I got a good aesthetic going on. I just need to put it out there more. It's just like for Live a Split Screen. I know on a week-to-week basis, especially on our 4-hour shows, we talk about so many things that have pure essence for gamers that I think it would get thousands of views, whether it was divisive or not. And what makes it dope is that me and Paul know we're just speaking to our truth. You know what I'm saying? Whether we agree, disagree, have interesting conversation, whatever it may be, that's just what we do here. You know what I mean? That's why we call it the RTS approach. That's why we say the ECP. But this is also supposed to be a place where we can come and chop it up about games, man, and be real. Like, this is me trying to be also just being real with y'all. Like, yeah, I want to play Monster. I wanted to focus on that, but hey, things happen behind the scene. I moved. Other games came out. Oh, I got interest in this. Oh man, I can mod this. Oh, this version came out. That's the number one thing that I'll say that I do. It's a love-hate thing. I love this generation of entertainment and gaming, especially more than any other previous one. Why? Because when I have to sit here and decide what direction I'm going to move into, or what I want to do today, or what do I have available to me, or how do I want to go, that is a dope feeling. You know what I mean? Like, sure, I could also have the argument of, oh, well, there's just too much out there, which, come to find out, that's becoming a reality. Like, obviously, got too many people, too many of these studios, games coming out, not the greatest, but we're still getting those gems in between, and it's kind of hard for me to ignore those, man. But I'll be back on Monster Hunter again. World was around for a long time, and I did my first like complete full World and Iceborne run here recently. I'll be jumping back into Monster Hunter much sooner than that, right? But nonetheless, it's definitely something that I have on my radar. It's just it's a bit, but that's what makes it. It's dope that I can come and at least tell other people about what I'm experiencing in case, hey, maybe you don't have access to certain games, or maybe you haven't played this. And maybe me bringing my interest to the table and saying, hey, this is what I'm playing, or maybe the next multiplayer game that comes out, because Chrono Odyssey, a game that they just did a developer interview for that released this week. It's an MMORPG. Maybe that's going to be the next multiplayer game that really holds me, right? And keeps my attention, because again, I am also the type of gamer, I feel like, where I'm searching for that quote unquote forever game. I'll play a game and spend 1,500 hours in it, playing just that game. But that should also give you perspective on how I approach games. It's either I'm giving it all, or it's kind of in between. So it is what it is. Want to do more reviewing, like Steel Seed. I might end up trying to review that game again, especially with it being shorter. Then, me winning a code, that kind of gives me some motive. Like, damn, I really want to give my opinion to these guys. Hey, maybe this is an opportunity for me to use my voice and maybe get my style down and see how I want to do things. So, I guess through all that babble, all I'm telling you guys is maybe just stop sleeping on yourself. Put yourself out there. Don't put so many things in your way. Maybe just do it. We'll see. Maybe you'll see me just do it and something to happen. I don't know. Maybe before you know it, I got Palm moving in next to me or something. You know what I mean? Paul's out. Paul's next door. We got a studio. We got a studio.
Oh, next door. Okay, I thought you meant in your house. I was like, yeah, I hope not, bro.
No, not in my house. No. You're gonna have your own crib. Yeah, you're gonna have your fucking.
That ain't happening, bro.
You could be 20 minutes away if you like. Yeah. We'll meet at the studio. No, we won't do that.
Oh shit.
Steel said. She says Steel TLDR. Isn't that what it's supposed to be? He says TDLR. I want to spread my love everywhere. Pause. Whoa.
Spread it everywhere. Ozzy, I feel you, man. Some people ain't built to graze, man. It ain't for everybody. So, and like I said, there are times where I wish I wasn't a grazer.
What's going on?
There definitely I wish there were times that I was like somebody who really focuses in on one or two games max and beats them, like Rand or anybody else out there that does that stuff. I can't do it, man. I got to see the worlds. I don't care about beating the games. I got to see the worlds. And I want to see the visions, and I want to see what they're presenting. That's just who I am.
That should
just
bother
like
me.
too many things, bro. On all the games this week, I didn't even talk about it because it's no big deal. But Game Pass has just been slinging games.
Oh yeah,
again, this is why for me, Game Pass is the holy grail of video game options, right? Because to me, I'm that dude that touches everything and finds value in touching it, whether it's for 5 minutes, pause, or whether it's for 100 hours. It doesn't matter to me. I get value out of it, bro. I downloaded Police Simulator and Fireman Simulator this week because they showed up on Game Pass. Yeah, I tried Police Simulator. It's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. Literally, you start as a beat cop, walking down the street, like boom, shout out to boom. A freaking beat cop picking up people for jaywalking and shit. And you could arrest people illegally. And you get knocked for it, of course, right? You get your points, you're earning experience points, but they take away if you do something that you're not supposed to do. But you literally could chase down people. It's freaking hilarious, man. Like, I'm like, if I had have a million other games to play, I'd sink some hours into this shit just sitting here becoming a cop, man. Like, it's fun as hell. I haven't tried the fire one yet. I am going to try the firefighter one as well. But yeah, it's just stuff like that experience. I want to see what devs try to do with their games. And that's why I love jumping into them like that. And I graze the way that I do. It's Game Pass is so stupid right now. Oh, I also didn't touch on Steel. Sorry if I'm jumping on you. I don't know if you're done yet or not. I did try the Xbox retro games that they dropped this week, the Activision retro games that they did in conjunction with Ant. What is it? Ant Stream? Is that what it is? And I was so surprised, as everybody was, by this announcement this week. For anybody who doesn't know, again, this goes back to Phil, Sarah, and everybody else promise that they were about game preservation. And when I see something like this, I don't care if it's not for you. I don't care if you look at it and go, who the hell is going to play Atari 2600 games? I don't, that's your opinion. That's cool. For me, it is freaking awesome to see something like this happen. And for it to be dropped into Game Pass, for anybody who doesn't know, it's a whole section of games in conjunction with Antstream. And you guys remember Antstream, the game, the streaming service that came out with all the classic games. It's like, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 games or whatever it was, monthly subscription fee. Well, they teamed up with them to present this whole Activision and like all the Activision subsidiaries that's been through the years, right? To bring those classic games in a one bundle to Game Pass. And so no extra fee, no subscription fee. It's just part of Game Pass Ultimate. If you got Game Pass Ultimate, you're in. And they've got right now 50 plus games, and they're going to add a lot more, they said, as they go forward. They've got Atari games in there. I was playing River Raid.
Okay.
I was playing Pitfall.
Got a nice blend on there. Okay.
Bro, I was going back. Let me tell you something real quick. For all the younger people out there, and I know we got a lot of old heads in our chat. Steel, you're even too young to remember a lot of this stuff. Why I don't like platformers and shit nowadays is quite obvious when I go back and play this stuff. The amount of dying that we did as kids in video games is ridiculous. The amount of restarting games from scratch,
the entire game. Yeah, you had to start the entire game.
Ridiculous. This is something we all old heads talk about, and most people bring up like Ninja Gaiden, right, from NES, right? The original Ninja Gaiden was stupid hard, and you had to beat it in one sitting. Or you had to pause the game and hope your mom didn't turn it off, but there was no continues, there's no save points, there's no nothing. You die, it's it. You start over. It was the original Souls. I'm going back and playing River Raid. I'm going back and playing Barnstorming. I'm going back and playing Pitfall on the Atari. I'm like, what the... Again, games back then also were translated to arcades. Yeah. Like, and the arcade games were built to eat quarters, right? That's what they were built to be money makers.
Yeah.
So the games were set up that way. But I'm playing River Raid going, oh man, I wonder if I can get through River Raid. Right? Because as a kid, you never got through River Raid. Like, at least I didn't. Maybe some of you superstars did. I never got through River Raid. Maybe I'll get through River Raid. Now I'm an adult still. I'm 50 years old. Oh, I think I probably handle River Raid, right? Bro, no, because it's got the same sloppy ass controls as it did back then. It plays exactly the same way it did. Even on a modern controller, it feels like you're freaking holding an Atari joystick that lags in its movements, and it's not quick and responsive, and you can't get out of the way of the damn planes that are flying across the screen. I'm telling you, bro, dying in River Raid will humble your ass like nothing else. And I'm going, no, these games are just as hard as they freaking used to be. And this is why I don't like platformers and stupid shit or Souls games, because I don't want to do this over and over again. However, nostalgia wise, it's a freaking blast. And on top of it, Steel, while there's actual achievements attached to the collection, so you can earn achievements for you achievement hunters. Obviously it's not it's not in the individual games. They don't have achievements, but they got the collection kind of achievements overall for you playing through. But they have daily challenges, Steel. They keep leaderboards on a lot of the games and the challenges. So there is a lot more to this. Plus, it's not just like Atari game, Steel. They've got MechWarrior 1 and 2 in here.
Oh, damn.
The old school MechWarrior, bro. And it works on controller now, Steel. You don't need keyboard. You can play it on keyboard and mouse, right? But it works on controller now. So the old MechWarrior that was only on PC is on here. You want to talk about going back and seeing what we've come from?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
It's not even close.
However, it's still dope, Steel, because they still had all the customization in there, bro. Setting up your weapons and shit. They had all of that. Like they were taking it straight from the tabletop, right? From the RPG, or from the paper RPG, the tabletop version. They took a lot of the stats and everything else. This goes back. Like this is hardcore, bro. They've got games like that sitting in there as well, and they're going to add more. Man, if you got Game Pass Ultimate, if you want to have some nostalgia, if you want to have some fun, because again, the challenges are cool because they set up specific challenges which actually can earn you points, which you can then use to buy customizing things within it. It's like a whole app unto itself. You know what I'm saying, Steel? It's like a whole app once you get in there.
Yeah.
But they got tons of stuff. But again, they got leaderboards so you can see where you place, on the leaderboard and that challenge and stuff. It is super awesome. And what a surprise this week. And again, hats off. I made a tweet about it, an X post about it this week, and said hats off. And Jason Ronald even liked it too. Because this is a part of that game preservation, right, Steel? This is what we talk about. And again, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But just to have these games available in 2025, Steel, on my Series X is nuts. And to be able to play it on my big screen OLED and it looks good, it's not pixelated, like it's up. That's
the other thing that's really impressive too. Like it's not.
You don't have to have a CRT anymore, right? It's nice. It's nice. It says a lot, Steel. It says a lot about that they meant this, and to have a surprise like this of the back catalog of Activision Blizzard or Activision stuff right now. That obviously, nobody knew they were going to do that. This still does not, by the way, Phil, everybody over to Xbox. I know you all listen every week. This does not absolve you of the fact that you still haven't put the back catalog of Call of Duty yet into Game Pass, that you still haven't put a lot of the games that you've got from Activision Blizzard, like Prototype, etc. This does not absolve you of that. I'm still saying that that's bullshit, and you guys are holding out because you're
what if they remastered?
The other shoe's going to drop, Steel. They're increasing the price of Game Pass. They're going to use that catalog to beef it up even more and call it a value. Okay, I know what y'all are doing. Okay, Business 101, it's fine. But I'm pissed because you guys promised that shit was coming, and it hasn't come. All the court cases are done. Everything's done. There's no more fucking excuses. Drop the shit. Drop the shit. That was part of the deal when I signed up for Game Pass, that you guys would give me day one games, including Phil publicly stating as they purchased companies, they would be in there day one. So this does not absolve you of that. However, you get lots of kudos from me for this surprise this week of dropping this retro pack in there and saying that you're going to add more to it because it is freaking awesome and it's freaking amazing. Oh, man, just wanted to shut that out too. I forgot to say that when I was. No,
that's pretty dope. Because I saw that drop, but again, I'm not gonna go back and revisit.
You're not that dude.
Because I've already lived that. You know what I mean? But it is cool because again, it does lean into something that they have been consistent about, and it is that game preservation side of it, and seeing that type of quality as well. Just tells me that that's going to carry over for the rest of my backlog as we move into the future, hopefully. So we'll see what's going on. Gene says, I'm rooting that new third-party studio on. What's it called? Microsoft Gaming? Stupid.
Wow.
Stupid.
Yep.
But
they're kind of big. They're kind of big.
Just a little bit. They're a little small.
They got some big hits over on PlayStation already. It's weird.
I mean, I'm just more so surprised those people just love those games. They're excited about them. It's good to know. I mean, again, but other than Skyrim, jumping into some off the grid, getting my multiplayer third person action in, which I get. That game is so mobile too. Like, because you have a jetpack that you can essentially use at any time, you can jump off a building. You have a little bit of a ledge. You can literally start jetpacking, and it has momentum and all that. Like, it's such a dope ass game. I might have to do some streams of that because I want more people to be aware of it because it is really cool. Regardless of if you don't support the whole microtransaction side of it or whatever. But so yeah, that Skyrim, and that's shucks this week. Other than jumping into a little bit of Gears Ultimate Edition every now and then still as well, running some games in, which we got news this week. Well, rumors. There's some Steam was showing some things for good old Gears Reloaded. Apparently there was people playing it behind the scenes. It was a Gears beta. It was listed as a beta on Steam. And it ended up being about 16 or 19 people that ended up showing up that were playing the game, apparently. Yeah, that people are assuming were the devs. Again, probably testing the servers out, seeing if it's able to go online, whatever the case. I think for me, if there is going to end up being a beta for Gears Reloaded, or Gears of War Reloaded, I should say, it's definitely, that tells me that there's other things that have been changed in the game. Right. I know people have been having conversations, and since they've been jumping back into Gears over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and talking about some things that might need to be changed to make them just to make it feel a little bit better, right, for the modern era. And I could see them doing that, right, making the game just feel smoother, maybe how it interacts with certain things, especially with all the work that they have on Unreal now. I'm pretty sure they have some tricks and things where they can get in there and maybe finagle a little bit, maybe make the shotgun more consistent in UE. Or whatever the case, but it does tell me that there's more work that has been put in the game than it just being it's just up-resed again, and nothing else has been done to it. So again, why would you do a beta for a game that's already been out before? I don't know. That's just
specifically to test the PlayStation version, right?
I mean, but you're testing it on Steam, though. You know what I mean? Unless
that's true. That's true.
They could be playing on different devices.
Yeah, they could be
playing on different devices. Everybody's on their separate.
Testing
somebody's at home. Yeah, that could be possible, and they could be reading that.
I mean, I think there's reasons to do that. I don't know. I mean, it's exciting because we're getting. I mean, it's coming, right? So
I think we're definitely going to get an announcement for sure.
Yeah.
At Showcase.
At Showcase for sure. Yeah, we're gonna get an official announcement. Steel, I lied too. I got one more thing I got to talk about.
What else you got?
I told you I was grazing. Bro, I told you I was grazing this. I told you this is ridiculous grazing this week, and I completely forgot. Battlefront 2.
Oh, I
back on the menu, boys.
I saw you post about that.
Back on the. Yes, I just said Star Wars
concurrent too on Steam.
That is correct, sir. Listen, I did say Star Wars Battlefront 2 in 2025. Has not been updated in literally 5 years.
It looks like it came out yesterday.
It's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. But yes, for anybody who doesn't know why I'm even mentioning this right now, again, this is the power of social media, and this is the coolness of social media. It started going around that all of a sudden the servers were starting to fill up again on Star Wars Battlefront 2 this week. Some people attributed it to Andor, because Andor, the season 2.
I keep hearing people say that it's good, so
I don't believe anything anybody says about any Disney Star Wars now. So, anyways, but whatever the reason why, word was on the street that this was happening, that Star Wars Battlefront 2 was being played again, and it was being played by a lot of people. I let it go by for like a day, like Monday. I think I first saw it and started seeing the comments about it. And then I started seeing Battlefront 3, hashtag Battlefront 3. And I started seeing the calls for a new Battlefront to be made. And then I started seeing people post clips and screenshots. And I was like, okay, this is kind of like a legit movement. And I miss Battlefront because Battlefront, again, like Steele said, is gorgeous to this day.
It's the battlefield of Star Wars for Star Wars.
They mix fixed it, unfortunately, it was too late. But once they fixed it, once they did all the updates to it, the game plays very well. Now, is it as good as the originals? No, I still say the originals were more fun. But however, this is a great experience now. So I was like, you know what? I got to see this for myself. So I uninstalled Battlefield 2042, which I had installed and had been playing here and there, right? Uninstalled that and installed Battlefront 2. And sure enough, finding matches within a max couple minutes, in matches, all types of different matches, bro, all over the place. I just was doing quick match. So I was hopping in co-op campaign games. I was hopping into space. I forget what they call the space battle section. I was hopping into all sorts of games. And it was playing extremely well. And again, when you forget how great the graphics were and you look at them and go, this game was made how long ago? It's freaking the best looking Star Wars game ever made. I think it's better than Jedi Survivor. I really do. I think it's so gorgeous, and the character designs, especially like the Jedi and all the special characters, are so well made. Grievous, bro, you forget how scary Grievous is.
I still wanted to.
When somebody knows how to play him, and he goes down on all of his legs and starts crawling towards you like a giant roach, bro. That shit will scare the living bejesus out of you, and you go running and hoping that somebody's behind you, lighting them up. Because, my God, it is something else. I was rusty as hell. There was a lot of sweats in there still. Plus, obviously, most of my Battlefront 2 time was on PlayStation 4, which obviously doesn't carry over. So I did play some on Xbox, but not a lot. So I didn't have high level. So I don't have all the upgrades. Everybody, a lot of sweats in there, got all the max upgrades, which does mean that they are doing more damage than you, can take more damage than all that shit. But my God, it's so much fun, man. And it's legit. There's now articles. VGC put out an article still. One of the original Battlefront 2 devs said that they've been talking with the other devs from the original team and are talking about how much they would love to get the band back together and do a number 3. EA, bro, listen, you've tried a lot. You've had some success with the Star Wars, IP. You've had some failures. Battlefront 2 was a mess for you guys because, again, loot boxes and all that shit. Go back and do Battlefront 3 and you'll have a huge, just like I said, with Titanfall, you will have a massive fan base that comes back and plays your game. You will have an instant, stop with the monetization. Don't worry about that shit. You can put some in later. You can put some skins, whatever you want to do down the road. I don't give a shit. Make a good Battlefront 3 game. You will have a 5 to 10 million seller at least. You will. Because there's that many people who love Battlefront games and love Star Wars and miss it dearly. So if anybody's looking to get into some Battlefront 2s, now's the time. Servers are still hopping. So just want to throw that out there, Steel. It was good shit.
Battlefront 2 was really good. I mean, again, if they didn't kill themselves with the loot boxes in the beginning, I think they would have had some legs to kind of stretch out there. But again, it so happens they drop support. It is what it is, man. So we'll end up seeing what happens moving forward. I would like a Battlefront 3, especially with all the stuff that's out there now. More story that you can probably dive into, good campaign, and then flesh out that multiplayer. Campaign. So the multiplayer was also really good.
It looks gorgeous. It looks like it came out in the past couple of years. It still holds up. That's the crazy part. I posted a clip, especially the space stuff, Steel. Mm-hmm. Flying around in a TIE fighter, bro, still holds up with the best looking space games out there today. It really does. It's gorgeous. It's a freaking great game.
Decado says I would rather have Anthem 2. Decado, I agree. I don't disagree. I still want to see whatever. I want to see whatever Anthem 2.0 was. I want to see it. I don't want them to not. I don't. No, I'm telling y'all, man. If they didn't roll all those mechanics into the Iron Man game, I'm gonna be upset.
You know it's not gonna happen. You know it's gonna come out.
I know. Maybe I'm just being too logical, but dog, there is just so much potential in there.
Oh no, I agree with you, Nixie. I mean, to some. You're not wrong. EA takes a lot of flack. They deserve a lot of flack, bro. It's like Ubisoft.
Yeah, they're like
I give EA their credit because again, there's a lot of games from EA that I do enjoy, but they have messed up a lot of
sports games alone.
Bro. They're like Ubisoft. They have messed up a lot of fucking franchises, bro. And it's hard to ignore that fact, especially when you had some of the biggest and best franchises, and you chose to screw them up on purpose. Like I don't. get with that mentality when you've got people at the top who are gamers, right? Again, Strauss came out and admitted that he's not a gamer at the head of Take-Two, but at the same time, you see how he lets his devs go to work, and it hasn't affected his games yet. But you got a whole group of multiple EA CEOs that have come and gone now that weren't gamers and messed up a lot of franchises and have done nothing to improve other franchises like Madden through the years. And so for me, there is a lot of criticism due, but you're right. They have done some good things, but a lot of that has come from individuals underneath EA that have taken matters into their own hands and have kind of shoehorned something great like Zampella does out of a bad situation underneath EA.
Speaking of which, though, Pong, Zampella, I thought it was Zampella we trust, but they are not locking the guns to separate classes. They're leaving them homogenous.
But they got a chance to fix it. They got a chance to fix it. Still, if that's their first misstep in all of Battlefield, that's their first misstep. I'm going to allow a misstep here and there. That's an easy fix. That's an easy fix, bro. Hopefully they heard the community, because did you see how many people were out? Oh, yeah, bro, the whole old Battlefield out in arms, to the point where I finally had to say something too, because I was like, okay, listen. And then somebody tried to say that was a complaint from Battlefield 1. I was thinking back, I'm like, people were complaining that the weapons were locked in Battlefield 1. I'm like, I don't remember that. And then I got to remember that, like, maybe that was some of the newer Battlefield fans that started that process that they started chasing after and really screwed I don't remember that was a problem in Battlefield 1. But anyways, whether or not it was, if they
add to the uniqueness of the class system and the whole purpose that shit exists in the first place. If the shit is just homogenous, you could do whatever. Now, I don't know. I don't know. If it's just guns,
lock it.
Maybe.
No.
But I don't want a medic doesn't need a sniper. A medic shouldn't have a rocket launcher. Maybe you being able to pick one up is one thing. If I could pick up a rocket launcher, I can see them adding that, because that is something to traditionally, like, you have to pick up somebody's whole kit if you wanted to swap weapons or whatever. You know what I mean? I would like to be able to, hey, I just saw him use a rocket launcher. Hey, let me swap to my secondary. Maybe I'll be a little heavier or whatever the case. Maybe I won't run as fast as a medic, but at least, hey, if I see this tank over here, my guy just died, I could pick up this RPG and shoot this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I would like that to be added, because that would add some dynamism to the gameplay. But me just loading in default C4 with a sniper and the ability to get an RPG to do this, and it just doesn't.
And I'm a healer.
No. You're removing the whole point of Battlefield, bro. Like, it's team based. You force people to play certain roles so that you can complete the objective of the team.
Correct.
You can act as a squad. That's what makes it so unique. That's what we talk about all the time. So I would just have to imagine they're going to get that. I just thought that was interesting this week, because it's like, I thought from 2042, because you made that change. Like, you gave in and said, all right, we're going to implement this back in. And then you're going into the next game and saying, oh, we're going to implement this back in. Like, that's not what an issue was for you before. Like, that's just weird to me in game development. Although, sure, it's early or whatever. Maybe I'll get to play it today. I don't know if they end up sending me a code or whatever. Even if I couldn't say anything to you guys, because it's NDA'd. But nonetheless, it's just, for a franchise, for an IP that I love a lot. And again, I was doing some, shout out to this app called Fuse. It's super gamer focused. Like, you can go through different games. Anyway, but I was going back and I was just reminiscing, because Battlefield 2 came up as one of the things. And I was just thinking about the experiences I had with that damn game. Again, our recent experiences with 2042 or even some of the other Battlefield 4, Bad Company 2, and just the way those games put you in that moment-to-moment gameplay, and seeing how things are right now. Again, what is happening?
I think it's I didn't like the explanation, because again, they went with the play how you want to play. Bro, if I hear that anymore in video games, I am so tired of that.
I don't need to hear it from Battlefield. You can be any other game. No. It could be COD.
There's certain games bro, there are certain games where that's totally fine. That is totally acceptable to have that mentality. Like, oh, we're just going to give the players the freedom to play how they want to play.
Yeah.
Yes, but then there are other games, specifically games like Battlefield, specifically like RPGs where you have specific classes. Again, I've never been I'm not a big fan of like Avowed that allowed you to mix up your classes. It's fine. I've said it I like the OG way. If I'm a Magic user, I'm a fucking Magic user. Okay, pure and simple. I ain't picking up a damn.
We're talking about RP,
but I'm saying, I get it. But I'm saying that there are certain games where you don't have to allow people to play how they want to play. Okay, people will adapt and adjust. Battlefield at its peak had guns that were locked to its classes. If you are wholeheartedly, which has been your mission, saying that you are going back to what Battlefield was, then that has to be a part of it because that was the original way you played Battlefield. If you had a favorite weapon, then guess what? You were going to have, by default, a favorite class. Okay, yep. By default, you
like to use the M4. Okay, you can be a medic. You like to use the AK. Okay, you're going to be an engineer. Stuff like that. Whatever you're going to learn.
And you know what? It worked back in the day. Still, that's what I'm saying. Yep. Because you became a master at that class because you wanted to play with that weapon. Now I'm a class guy, so to me the weapons are secondary to me. I'm a class guy, so I'm a medic through and through first on Battlefield. I love being medic, bro. I'm one of the dudes running, trying to pick your ass up.
Person. Get your ass up.
Steele and I playing together is hilarious because we've had runs where him and I were picking each other up left and right, bro. We're just back and forth. So, but back in the day, if you were the gun person, and a lot of people were, I have my favorite weapon because it's so kick ass, whatever. They're, again, meta guns, whatever. You learned your class. That made you a better Battlefield player because then when you learn that class to that degree, because you were playing it all the time, because that was your weapon, you became a better teammate in general to the rest of your squad because you knew your class through and through, right? That's the situation that I think it creates when you lock these weapons in. And I think it makes each class unique. And I think that it's fine. There's other abilities that are obviously unique to the classes, but I think the weapons add another layer that really, again, adds importance to the class system, which I think has been lost through the years, which I hope they do backtrack on. This is their first mistake.
Voidlock says, what's the issue with playing how you want? Bad Company 2 didn't have classes. That's all the games after that, the Bad Company series. But you couldn't just equip whatever gun to whatever class. You couldn't just bro. Unless I'm just fucking misremembering, and I swear to Moses, I'm not. But even in Bad Company 2, you couldn't be a medic with an RPG. You couldn't be a sniper with an RPG. That's the point that I'm making. Like there were certain things that were still locked to certain users, and maybe I'm just completely off base in that. And Bad Company 2 just happened to be the one game that it worked in because everything was destructible. But I think Bad Company 2 had classes and it had locks to certain things as well. Yeah, maybe I could be misremembering.
I gotta think about that one, whether or not it is. Because
I didn't think that was something they implemented until Battlefield 5, I think, or whatever their more recent one was.
Hold on. Let me look this up real quick because I don't remember either at this point, Steele. Because obviously 3 and 4 had it. And that's what I remember the most was 3 and 4. Let's see. Specializations, modifications, improvements, players equipped give them an edge in combat. Specializations are unlocked by rank.
So they had specializations.
Which specializations are available depends on. So assault, like they had a red dot. So they had specific attachments that were available to the classes. So assault got like red dot sight, 4x rifle scope, assault rifle marksmanship training. Engineer got red dot sight, SMG marksmanship. Yeah, so there was. Yeah, so you see, because you had specializations.
So you still had.
So yeah, medic was all about the LMGs. So you got all the LMG stuff, right? Engineer was all about the SMG stuff.
That's what we mean. That's what we mean.
Yeah.
That's what we're speaking to.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what we're speaking to. They still it's still,
and then they had all
that.
kit unlocks, right, too, as well. So, but yeah. You got
so let me offer an amendment. It does not have to be pure on, full on, just a class, and there is ways that you can do it that aren't just everything is homogenous and everybody can use everything. Right. Because that is what they have done with more recent games where, hey, you just pick a gun and you pick a character, pick a gun, and you can do whatever the hell you want. You want an RP? Fuck it. Use it. Because the problem has been there hasn't been team play. Right. And what made Battlefield unique is the unknown forced team play. Mm-hmm. You can jump in with a squad of 4 and make progression in a multiplayer game. Because things were team-based. I have to be a medic. You have to be an engineer. Or maybe we have a couple medics, couple engineers. However we're going to do this, we know what we're going to run into. It's a guarantee we're going to run into a tank. It's a guarantee we're going to run into an ATV. It's a guarantee we're going to run into a chopper. We need help. Where it's a guarantee one of us is going to go down. Right? That's why we need the defibrillators. Make sure you charge them up. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we mean by that class system. There was always some form of specialization in Battlefield because that's part of what made it unique. Yeah. And if that's what the new gameplay is, and again, maybe I'll find out here soon. Maybe it's another situation of them not being able to explain exactly what's going to be there or what they're doing with the system. Because people have spoken. And the way that people are taking it right now, even, doesn't seem like they had a different intention.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing that we're speaking to.
I gotta say though, Steel, just to kind of go away from that. But I was gonna say the new destruction videos that have been being posted.
They look delicious,
bro.
You froze. Your cam froze, by the way.
My cam froze.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm still showing live here. Is it back?
No, just turn it off and turn it back on in Discord. That come off can and bring it back up.
It was fine for me. I was showing us talking. Weird.
But now it's acting like it's taking forever to come back.
I'm live in our Discord right now.
Really?
I see myself. Yeah, I see myself.
I wonder if that means my internet is going to die.
Yeah, because I see you and I see me perfectly.
On my end, it says failed to start camera. Hold on. Let me try again.
Is it working or no?
It's not working for me for whatever reason. It's saying it's loading.
Huh.
Hey.
It's weird.
It's because we're having too much fucking fun.
Well, probably. But I was going to say, yeah, I see on YouTube that it's just got me as blank. So that's weird.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, y'all see Pong as blank? I don't know why.
I'm live in our Discord. Okay. Do you think it's my side? Do you want me to unplug my whole camera?
I don't know if it. I mean, you could try it.
I mean, I'm blurry, but
yeah, I mean, you could try it, but I don't see. Oh, there you're back. Oh God, no, you're not.
Well, because I had my finger over it.
Oh, okay, you're back. Oh God,
am I back or no?
You're like choppy. That's interesting.
Okay. All right, let's unplug.
You can hear Palm, but we can't see him. Yeah, for whatever reason, it just got mad choppy.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, the destruction videos for the new Battlefield are absolutely incredible. For a bit. If you guys haven't seen the destruction videos, they are doing the destruction correct. Like beyond the explosions and everything.
Importance.
They're on a new level. Like even the tank and helicopter explosions, the amount of detail that they have with the parts flying everywhere is absolutely incredible. Like it looks like a movie explosion. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, it definitely really it's looking juicy, man. I can't wait. Yeah, Ghost, don't worry. I'm gonna be Pong for a bit. Don't you worry.
Just
now,
confused.
There you go. It's coming back. There we go.
Is it back?
It's coming back. It's working its way.
Weird. I wonder if it's my It's got maybe
I don't
something
know.
on my side.
Maybe internet kind of started slowing down a little bit there. I'm going to go ahead and back out of Steam here on my end as well, just in case. I can't recall if I put auto update. I usually don't do automatic updates for Steam. Should be fucking taking up resources. Everything takes up resources, man. Fucking resource hogs. But we knocked out a couple different things up front right there, which is super dope. We are going to have a little bit of a shorter show, so we're going to try to keep it around 3 hours or so. So expect that, where it'll be 12-hour time, 5 UK time, or what that technically, because we go 9 o'clock Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. So we're talking about 12-hour time, 1 for the east side folks. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, Pong, we do have to shout out the chat. The beautiful people have been getting in here and just spitting that live, raw, and uncut gaming convo, even dealing with all of our shenanigans, all the games that we've been talking about. And again, I haven't been into too much, but hopefully I'll be able to get into some more here soon. Oh, I think I mentioned that last week though. Where I played Wuthering Waves, so I don't think that counts. I think that was last weekend. I'm not playing it as hard because it's just got other games to play, man. Fuck. But anyway, yeah, gotta shout out this chat.
Yeah, let's shout out the chat. Thank you everybody for being here. Sorry about the little technical hiccups there. Hopefully that's over with. But thank you all for being here. Join us on another Saturday. Love you all. Love seeing everybody out here. Let's see who we got in the chat right now. We got the one and only Decado. What's going on, Decado? Great to see you, sir. We got the Fahim. Scott, what's going on, Fahim? We got the Void Lock. What's going on, Void Lock? Thanks for being here. He says, I hope it plays like Bad Company. The campaigns were amazing. Yeah, that's one thing why I wanted Bad Company to come back, was the humor and the writing in Bad Company campaigns were freaking a second to none, bro. So, but again, I'll take Destruction. I'll take Zampella bringing it back the way it looks like it is so far. I'll take that over what we've gotten. So, and Zampella we trust. Nam! Oma! What's going on, Nam? He says, Nixie goes, Pong. Nixie, great to see you too, by the way, brother. Said, Pong, I can't find the donut shop in Police Simulator.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
Yeah. It's so good, bro. It's so good. You can tase people, Steel. They fall over the middle of the street. It's freaking hilarious, man. Anyways, we got, who else we got here? We got Tim, the Sorcerer. What's going on, Tim? Great to see you as well, sir. We got the Aussie Fan 66. What's going on, Aussie Fan? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you so much, sir. We got that Ghost Wolf 3599. What's going on, Ghost Wolf? We got that Back from the Dead. What's going on, Back from the Dead? Great to see you, sir. What's
going on, bro?
God, always good to see you, brother. Who else is in here? Man, oh man. Who else? Legendary, the one and only Legendary Yobi. What's going on, Yobi? Great to see you, brother. He says, Pong Battlefront 2 has had a Steam record for the last few days. Current players of 10,565 online. Yep, that's what's been going on. It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. But yeah, go download. It's fun. This hell, man. I just love that game. Who else we got in here? We got Ron Slusher. He says, I need Foam Stars 2. Ron, you're going to be waiting for a very long time, sir.
You're not excited for Foam Stars 2?
Foam Stars 2 ain't coming anytime soon.
What?
I don't think it's high on the priorities. I'm just saying.
What do you mean?
Dan the Man, Cunningham, what's going on? OG, good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate you, sir. Always dropping in here. Who else we got in here? We got the Jesse James in the house. What's going on? He says Microsoft is the biggest publisher who also makes hardware. People need to get used to that. Yeah. Yeah, that's the plan going forward, and they changing now.
With the hardware, man. That's the main thing that people's worries won't be answered until we see what they do with the hardware.
What's the point, Steel? What's the point, Steel? What's the point of having Steam on there? What's the point of having Epic on there? What's the point of having any of that on there? Who's going to buy a piece of hardware where you don't need to buy any of the games from Xbox? Who's going to buy Xbox hardware if that's the case?
Damn. Xbox is giving you more ways to enjoy your entertainment, and it's a problem.
It's dead, bro. It's dead, bro.
Crazy.
It's dead, bro. MG, what's going on, MG? What's going on? Great to see you in here, sir. Thank you for being a part of the show. We got the Def Leopard. He brings up Vigilante 8 needs to drop next.
Vigilante.
Since we're never gonna get Twisted Metal. Yeah. because it was the Twisted Metal knockoff.
Ah, gotcha.
Some people actually liked it better. I personally didn't. I personally was an OG Twisted Metal guy, and I still liked Twisted Metal better. But was Vigilante 8 a great time? Vigilante 8 was a great time. But yes, I would very much appreciate that, Def. I think car battlers need to come back in a big way, and I think that's a space that I think somebody could do something in right now. So I'd love to see that happen. JB1521, what's going on? He says Xbox E3 is going to be crazy. Could be a lot of games.
We'll see. With all the stuff that just keep letting loose, that seems like stuff that you would announce at a showcase. It's really interesting what could potentially be there. And if Gears Reloaded, a beta dropping is just a tease, and I think we'll get E-Day gameplay as well. Like those might be things we get together. We're probably going to get a whole 20-minute spiel just from the coalition. You know what I'm saying? Maybe after the show. Maybe that's the thing that they do after the show. That would be cool.
No. It's Outer Worlds 2.
Oh yeah, my fault. Yeah, it is Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds 2 is the big showcase this year because that's coming out this year. So, but yeah, no, I think that for sure, Steel, with what they've already announced, that there's going to be they must have a lot, right? Unless Phil's just going to come out and say we're exiting the hardware business and we're now a third-party publisher full-time, and Game Pass is now $50 a month, and drop the mic and walk off the stage. I mean, he could do that. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
I guess so.
Right. We're done. We lied to you all.
There you go.
Let's go. No, it's going to be a great time. I think their showcase is going to be massive. I think
it's in 2 weeks, Nixie. It's on the the 6th?
Well, the week of the 12th, right? Is that what it is?
No, that's summer. I think that's Summer Games Fest is the 6th. Sorry.
Yeah. Is it the 15th?
I'll tell you right now.
Is it the 15th? I can't remember.
I'll tell you right
it's
now.
Weird this year because we've gotten so many announcements. Masshole 1977. I'm sure you started the show off by saying sup, nerd. So sup to you, nerd. Great to see you.
Yeah.
He says
Summer Game Fest is June 6th. Sorry. And Day of the Devs is after, all that good stuff. They don't talk about Xboxes there. That's interesting.
Well, no, they're not going to because they're not partnered. 2025 because they're not partnered. June 8th.
June
so
8th?
It's the weekend prior. Yep. June 8th.
Yeah, it is. It's that Sunday. It's the Sunday of after.
No.
Yeah, because the 6th of June is on the
I'm looking
on Friday.
The May calendar. Yeah.
So, the 6th of June is on a Friday, and then that Sunday you got the Xbox Showcase.
Yes, correct. Okay, now we got that cleared up. So June 8th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, noon Central time. Let's freaking go. We don't know where we'll be, Steel, or what we're going to be doing that day. So we'll find out.
We'll see.
Get closer. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see here. Masshole said maybe June show will announce more additions to the catalog. Yeah, I'm expecting a Game Pass price increase. And once that happens, then that's when I think the drops will happen. I think we could have the Game Pass price increase, and then right after that, during the show, have the drop. Not at the same time, but I'm just saying that I think that's.
You said the showcase?
No, not at the showcase, but they could drop more games into Game Pass at the showcase. So either the price increase is going to happen like next week, or it's going to happen after the showcase. But I definitely think that there is going to be a time where they announce that back catalog coming in for sure. I mean, again, it's just a matter of time. Let's see who else we got in here. Scrolling.
Hey, who said that? Ghost. Ghost says I've never played a Forza game before. Ghost.
What?
How you got the exotic? You got the exotic loot out here, bro? And you ain't never played Forza before.
You've never played Forza or Forza Horizon? Either one.
You need to play Forza Horizon 5, Ghost.
I mean, if you're not a car guy, I could see it.
I mean, if you're not into cars, I mean, sure, but like, you didn't like Need for Speed or nothing like that? Like to have even somewhat of an interest? That's just interesting. I don't know. I mean, again, I've been into playing those games since I was younger, so it's kind of like one of those things. But I would say, I mean, hey, if you're ever interested, I would say definitely start with Forza Horizon 5. It's really good. Yeah. Really good, really impressive. Yep. I mean, you see the gameplay. I have the gameplay of that up in the background for you. It gives you an example. I'm customizing a Lancer Evo right now for Pong. I was doing this in the name of Pong, actually. So
I miss my baby.
Got the Evo up there looking nice. But anyway.
Anyways,
Need for Speed.
Let's see here.
Okay.
We got the one and only Cyber Gunter. Cyber Gunter says RoboCop is an amazing game and such a steal at that price. Steal. Speaking of steal, I also did pick up RoboCop. I double dipped RoboCop. I told you I had it on PC and hadn't played it yet.
Right.
It's on sale on Xbox for $7 for the Alex
Yeah, for
Murphy
like
edition.
real cheap.
Yeah. I picked it up and played through the first level. So I did play that as well. I told you I've been grazed like a mofo, man. So yeah. Oh, did they nail, like, just from the opening scene, like the opening cinematics through the opening level, did they nail RoboCop? Why everybody says this is a great, yes, they did. It's freaking fantastic. Now that I jumped into it. It's freaking awesome, bro. It's freaking awesome. And for $7 or whatever the hell it was, stupid price for the full edition. Yeah, it's on sale right now. Go pick it up. Anyways, I did jump into that.
Icon era something that we want to pull from?
Oh my!
Because apparently, gaming insider Tom Henderson thinks the next Xbox is going to be Microsoft's last console. The writing is on the wall.
Oh, did he post an article about it? He must have posted an article at some point then.
Yeah, he just posted. He said it on a podcast. Apparently, I can't tell what podcast this is.
Oh.
Or I mean, it looks like an inside. Yeah, it looks like an insider gaming podcast.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, you can pull from if they're quoting him from a podcast, we can roll with it. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
I mean, again, I know we're in the middle of chat shout out. I can get ready to get that set up.
Yeah, get that set up.
I'm gonna play it live. I'm gonna just play it live.
Yeah, play the clip 5 if you got it. That's cool. Yeah, I think that's. I don't know why that's such a big deal or a big conversation. I mean, it certainly could be. Anyways, we'll talk about it.
Tom Henderson, I mean, it's a known kind of person.
Yeah,
we kind of
feel Zach. What's going on, Harry? Great to see you in here, man. Thanks for dropping on by. Who else we got in here? I'm seeing if I'm missing anybody. Stanley Francois. What's going on, Stanley Francois? Thank you for dropping in here earlier, sir. It says Dark Zone 25. I see you in here as also. You guys are talking about the. Looks like you guys were talking about Tainted Grail. Yeah, go check it out. I don't know if the demo's still available. I didn't look to see, but yeah, if you got a chance to play the demo and check it out. Who else? Ray. Oh, it was in here early. What's going on, Ray? Great to see you as well, sir. Scrolling down, see if I missed anybody. No, I did not miss anybody. Everybody's been caught up. Chat, you guys are all amazing. Whether you are lurking, whether you are live, whether I called out your name, but I didn't get the chance to see you because you're not in here right now. If you listen to us in the future, it don't matter. All love and respect to each and every single one for coming out here and spending some time with myself and this beautiful man, Mr. Steel Rain, right here. Especially on a holiday weekend. A lot of people are gone, out of town already. In America, it is Memorial Day weekend for all of you across the ocean that don't know what this is. This is Memorial Weekend, where we certainly remember those who gave their lives for this country. So, and those that serve. But yeah, thanks for all joining us, man. We're having some good conversation. Gaming, lots of gaming talk, of course.
That's what we do time.
Yeah.
But let me get this up on screen for you guys. Again, this isn't meant to be something to take extremely literal. I'm not saying that Tom Henderson is anybody that you guys got to pay attention to, but he is somebody that, he's got a little bit of know of in the gaming industry. I would say has a little bit of a pulse of whatever may be happening or going on. And whether it's accurate or not, I think it's good for conversation purposes. So I'm going to pull that up here for us to listen to live. So, and I think we're good.
Oh, okay. That's it. We'll all move on. That's about it, really. So,
I'm playing it live.
Yeah, they'll have the PlayStation
okay.
buy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Cool.
and they'll release their games over there, and it's fine. Oh, new Halo's coming out. Yeah, I get it on PlayStation 5. You know?
Oh, it just sounds so weird, man. Halo on
does,
PlayStation.
but
What the hell?
Wow.
And okay, so first off, people continuously being in a weird place with Halo going to PlayStation, Gears going to PlayStation, any of these games going to PlayStation. I want to reiterate that I get why people have that perspective. But if the games are proving to be able to go to a separate platform, or more people are engaging in those games than ever before, again, this entire thing, I feel like is more so it's just proving Xbox right more than anything. The Xbox bias, whatever people want to consider it. People weren't going to play certain games unless it was available to them on their platform. That's the strategy that's happening right now. For me, as an Xbox fan, and this is what blows my mind about it, but you see the people that have, you have the opposite sides or whatever, or just believe in the platform things. As an Xbox fan, I'm excited about these games going to everywhere, or more people having access to it. Because that means I get more people playing the multiplayer. Now people get to truly see what value is to me. You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't want to get to the nuts and bolts of what I think is important in the video game industry. And I think that is the one thing, like when Pong talks about what we used to get back in the day, we used to get more back in the day. We used to get more complete projects back in the day because they kind of had to, because you had to crunch, because you didn't have any other options. You had to get it out of the mud, like they kind of act like they're doing today. You had studios releasing single player, multiplayer, and giving you solid experiences across the board, and it was limited down to a certain base because we're playing platform wars. And now more people are going to be playing Gears of War than they've ever have been previously, and that's exciting to me as an Xbox fan. So again, I mean, is the plastic more important or the games more important?
Tom, how long do you think until we hit the point where Xbox just jumps out of the console war, and then we have just, or what came to my mind is they just have a streaming box and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, we know they're going to do one more console generation, right? And then I think
did you die or did I die?
That's it. It's done.
Oh, we're listening.
They don't need to.
Yeah.
They don't need to put all of the time and investment into an Xbox console, right? But yeah,
we all thought, not we all, but there are a lot of people that thought the PS4 era was the last one. PS4, Xbox One era. They're like, oh, there's no more after this, or this that we're currently in PS4. This is going to be the last one. I feel like every generation we hit that, this will be the last.
I don't know. Like, no more than ever, though, I feel like the writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
Now more than ever,
just with the way that the direction has been these past 2 years and how fast their strategies seemingly changed from the public eye. I mean, like right from the top level, we don't have too much insight. There is leaks and rumors and all that kind of good stuff, but typically they do come down from a lower level, so we don't necessarily know, or maybe we do, but for the most part, I would argue that we don't know exactly how long the strategy has been in place. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like no more than ever the writing's on the wall.
All right. This is definitely more of a this is just more of his opinion, right? Just speculation. Like in all things, his speculation on things. Again, I'm consistent in I don't see them having a reason to pull away from hardware now, especially after working as hard as you have to be in the hardware market. I'm not saying that it's the most valuable to them now, or that is the direction that they are choosing to quadruple down in. As you can obviously see, it's not, right? And to the people who do believe more so on the exclusive side of things, that I will, concede on that end. It's like, hey, well, obviously, if you had the amount of games that you probably went back then, yes, maybe we would have been having different conversations. But because of where we're moving as far as the digital era is going and how consumers are proving to consume content, the number for the hardcore that are actually investing into the ecosystem is also, not only has it become stagnant, but they're asking for more from it, while not delivering top quality content. And again, quality is subjective. You'll have a lot of the devs will say, hey, we put all this work into it, we just had the ABC issues. Or again, like Thomas Muller came out and talking about No Rest for the Wicked, and shout out to that team. And I think No Rest for the Wicked is a solid game, but there is something to say about when you release a game, even in early access, you have the one time to make a first impression. And I know that wasn't the entire point of what he was trying to say and everything else. He was emotional, and there was further conversation that was had about that entire situation. Do your, tune in on YouTube, look up Thomas Muller. He's in the shows that he's done. But the clarification is, I think Legendary Drops actually reached out to him as well. Shout out to Legendary. But the point is, you have one time to make a first impression. And you can't blame the gamer if they decide that your first impression wasn't good enough to have more of an investment to you. You know what I mean? And again, Nixie, there's nothing wrong with what he said, right? But it is a conversation piece that more and more people are just going to continue to have because of the direction that this is going, while trying to be ignorant to what else is happening behind the scenes. You're still going to have access to your content. The way that they're going right now, the device is going to become something where you're going to be able to have access to an ecosystem that is going to be far expansive than what you had previously, as is already proven true right now. And if it's only going to become greater, I don't think a streaming device is going to be the answer. That's not a common household thing. I've seen NVIDIA GeForce is a good example, but they're also starting to tax highly for that. Right? I think to get the decent service with them, it's like $30 a month, 30 or 40, something like that. And I get that some of these services may see a rise in price, like kind of Paul mentioned earlier. We may see Game Pass hit the 25. I would like for them to keep it at 20. I think it would be advantageous, especially in this time. You've raised the price of everything else. Let's just keep this where it is right now for the next 3 years and see where you can really grow this thing while still adding more value. Because again, you're making more money than you have ever been before. You are the number one publisher, even on a PlayStation. That's impressive. What's PlayStation's answer? Oh, Jeff Grubb just put out there's a rumor now going around that, hey, there's a showcase not even a PlayStation showcase, a state of play or whatever happening for PlayStation in June as well.
Still, let me ask you a question though, real quick on this, because I'm curious about this, because I've never.
I was going to tangent. Sorry.
No, I mean you are, but that's fine because that's what we do here anyway. So who cares? We do this all the damn time. And I think it's good for conversations. I do have a question because I've never been on board with the whole Trojan horse thing because I don't think it works. I understand the concept. Right. And that's why I want to ask you this, Steele, because at the end of the day, because I saw Boom did a show earlier this week about this too. Again, a Trojan horse implies that you're going to win something. In this case, you're not going to win anything. PlayStation fans aren't going to stop buying PlayStation games when they do launch. So my question to you is, does it really matter? I mean, it's great for money, for business, of course. Like that concept's easy. Okay. Mm-hmm. Again, if you're going to go third party, you go all in. And if your game starts selling on a different platform that you weren't putting them on before, well, that's why you did it. So you're going to make more money, and it's an awesome deal, and that's what you're doing. But this doesn't hurt PlayStation in any way. Like they're making money off your games as well. You are filling a hole and needs for them while their first party titles are not to be found, but their fans aren't all of a sudden going to stop buying PlayStation games. Those fans that bought a PlayStation 5, and again, I'm not talking about the casuals who, again, none of this even matters about. We're talking about the gamers, the 3 to whatever, 8% of gamers who buy a lot of games during the year. This is all that matters. You're not going to convince anybody that all of a sudden Xbox is better at all by having your games over on PlayStation. They're just going to say, okay, so I want to play Forza Horizon. This is dope. This is awesome. It's available to me now on PlayStation. So I've always wanted to play one, so I'm going to pay for it. And I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to play it. But when Sony does have their showcase or whatever the case may be, or when their next first party game does drop, like Ghost of Yotai, if they're that type of gaming fan, they're just going to go buy Ghost of Yotai and say, this is the reason why I own a PlayStation, because I can't get this game anywhere else. Right. So again, I just want to ask you, what does it matter? Like you just got them talking about how Xbox has had some of the best performing games on PlayStation Store. And Sony's answer is to, Grubb is saying that they're going to have some type of either state of play or showcase in June. What are they? They're not answering to anything. They're just going about their business as is, right? Or am I wrong?
Sorry, I was sidetracked because Dan was spamming the chat with his 0.05.
Oh.
Whatever. I don't know what he's doing. It's spamming. I was gonna time him. Dan, I'll time you out, bro. Like,
Dan don't do that. So it must be just something going on with his internet or something. Because Dan ain't like that.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Like, let's not spam. Pose the last part to me again, real quick.
No, I'm just saying. Ultimately, Steel,
because you're saying
it's
what's
not
the point of?
Because it's not a response from Sony to say, all of a sudden, because Xbox is selling all these games, that they're all of a sudden deciding to have a showcase or state of play. They're going about their regular business. Again, that's changed for them how they do things anyway. Even before Xbox started putting their games on PlayStation, it had changed. It had become a different PlayStation. So, the consistency already was not necessarily the same as it had been, especially with their shows, right? So to say, they're responding by maybe potentially having the showcase or whatever the case may be, really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're going about their business because, again, they don't care that Xbox is selling their games over there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have cut a deal with them to sell their games, right? They don't care about that. It's not defeating Sony in any way, shape, or form at the end of the day, because PlayStation has very specific fans who love PlayStation type games. Xbox is just offering something that they don't really get from that side, but it's not changing hearts. It's not changing minds over being PlayStation fans and about those games. They're going to wait for Ghost of Yotai, right? And whatever else. They're going to wait for Intergalactic. They're going to wait for those games to come to PlayStation. That's what they do.
I guess the point would be, because you say, what would they be winning? Well, the thing that they'll be winning is the audience. The audience that can continue to say that they didn't want to play those games, but ended up buying the games anyway. Because if they're going to be able to win the Xbox audience regardless, and if they're going to give you hardware to use regardless, if you're always going to have Game Pass or other things that are going to be of value to you as being part of that ecosystem, right? Because again, I mean, but you also know, like, my perspective on the whole ecosystem thing, my whole perspective on Xbox is an ecosystem thing more than anything else. It always has been since the very beginning. Okay. Right. So for me, no matter what, if you continue to demonstrate people the value of your ecosystem, because we are in a different generation where the box does not have to be the complete definition of what you're doing. Again, I think PC proves that, right? Like, you can have a PC, as an example, have all access to the games, and all the publishers win at the end of the day, because, hey, if I can get into that PC market, because things are becoming more in tandem, unless the boxes start doing something that is completely different to where, hey, we're not making a single version of a game that we can kind of scale up or down depending on the hardware that you're on or what do you have, because we're all using the same stuff. I don't know what else is a potential, unless we're willingly saying that we just want these companies to continue to finesse us more than they already are. Like, we want boxes to keep going because we want to continue to be finessed. Which I don't like. When I say finessed, I mean finesse as in, because I just don't see the point of telling people they can't play a game because you don't have a box. If you just allow people to play a game and let the publisher speak as far as game development goes, because, again, that's all that's going to matter at the end of the day.
Tell Nintendo that, Steel. I'm
just
sorry,
because they're not doing it right now doesn't mean that they wouldn't do it either. They're not going to. Things are becoming more digital. They're going to have an all digital console as well. They did it with the Switch Lite.
No,
well, I mean, this thing is cartridges.
No. But I'm making a point against what you just said, right? That there isn't a value to it. There is a value to it, and that's why Sony's so resistant to it up to this point, and why continued to be resistant. Even
what's the value to have an independent box by each publisher? What does it do?
It sells for that company.
No, the point was it was supposed to drive competition. By doing what? What was driving competition on those consoles?
What are you talking about? Well, the hardware was initially, for sure. Now you can certainly argue that now, since the hardware is so similar, that doesn't happen anymore. But back in the day, it was. So then it's the game.
But that defeats.
So
So,
then
that
it's
defeats. That answers your question, though.
But,
So
but it
if-
doesn't.
if
Not for the
things
company
today
that's producing
aren't-
those games. Not for the company that's producing those games, Steel, that is trying to sell that box as the main motive.
Okay, so what's the point now then?
To sell that box as the main motive still is the point.
But if
Sony
both
has made
boxes
that
do the
crystal
exact
clear.
same thing, why are we developing different games for different platforms? If
are you
everybody
talking
can play the game and the publishers'
Because
games can
Sony
speak
wants
for
to sell
themselves.
that box with their name on it, because that having that box with their name and being the cool kid, the popular kid, holds a ton of value, not only for their gaming division, but for their electronics division as a whole and for their movie division.
So
Because having that name on the box inside that household still has value to them.
sure, as a piece of hardware, but hasn't Sony also proven that they're not as strong hardware-wise in any other area except for gaming as they used to be? That even that is
Sure,
on
but
decline?
that doesn't mean the drive isn't still there. That doesn't mean that they still aren't going to try to take advantage of what they
Okay.
do have. No, I agree with you.
Hasn't it
Obviously,
been
we talked
proven that digital media is 80% to 20% of physical media, and that the only direction that things are going to move forward as far as consoles go? And sure, Nintendo can continue to play into the direction that they're doing, but again, they are still choosing to make games differently than how the rest of the industry is. PC, PlayStation, and Xbox all make games very similarly to each other. And that's my only point, is what other direction is going to happen? What is going to happen next? Because the hardware is not different from each other. So what are going to do next generation? I don't know. Right now, Xbox is talking about they want to give you more ways to play. So if they give you a handheld, or they give you another box to where you can play whatever games that you have access to, if they give you access to Steam, how is that less valuable than you having an exclusive on PlayStation? And again, I see Nixie's point in chat. Oh, I still appreciative of consoles. I am appreciative of consoles too. But what I'm asking for is innovations in consoles, because since Xbox One, there's not a difference. You're just getting a branded PC that's limited to do Xbox.
But I think
it's
I
on
think to go
Xbox
back to-
OS. So that doesn't
But I
make
think
any
to go-
sense when we talk about what was true in the past versus what is true today.
But still, to go back to the original point of this
That's the
conversation,
finesse.
then that's why I think Tom Henderson could be correct. And that's why I don't think it's outrageous to say that. Because in Microsoft's eyes, again, Microsoft, the corporation's eyes, what you were saying is absolutely true. So why continue to spend the R&D? Why continue to put
Innovate.
that money into a box that can be made easily by others, by third-party companies, that uses your UI, that uses your stuff that you've developed, and you remove the cost of that box from your bottom line and the R&D from your bottom line, which to Microsoft Corp does matter at the end of the day when you're not competing for the number one spot.
But if I'm
that
giving
division.
more people value, if I'm making more money on the opposite side, if I'm making more money on
Making
this
more money on
opposite side of the
software.
fence, right?
And
And I can
subscription.
still do what I was doing previously, sure, there might be the base of us, Paul. I have an Xbox Series X and S. You have a Series X, right? You also have a PC. We are both willing to invest in the next Xbox console. Point blank period. I'm telling you guys that just
Correct.
up front. I am interested in seeing what Xbox is going to do on a hardware front, because they are showing me that they are trying to innovate in the hardware space, something that we have not seen in 2 generations so far. Shit, Nintendo Switch apparently is coming out to find out it has the games that's running on there is at PlayStation 4 graphics. Okay, it's on a smaller screen, whatever. People are going to excuse it and say that it's okay. But you see what we're talking about here? These games are not, Hogwarts isn't supposed to be possible on these consoles, but they are. So we haven't even dig deep enough in the bag yet. They're still playing in our face with what's possible in the in the gaming space. You know what I mean? So when I talk about the finesse is they have proven that there's not a difference with the boxes that they're delivering right now other than OS, other than the operating system itself. And if PlayStation isn't going to be delivering games at the same capacity that Xbox is going to be delivering games, the Trojan horse is, I have breached your audience. I have already broken down the wall, because by what you're saying, that and that older mentality, PlayStation shouldn't be accepting Xbox games on their platform, period.
Why? It's not damaging your brand.
Because you're helping your competition.
But you're not, because you're not in competition anymore. Your competition has given up.
But you can't have the mentality of competition, but then welcome the competition's stuff.
Well, of course you can, because you're making money off of it, and it does nothing to your
brand. But you're not making as much as Xbox is, and
doesn't matter.
Getting the brand and getting that mentality into the consumer. They're going to be looking for. Oh, I know Xbox puts out. I know Microsoft puts out these style of games. Oh, Xbox is doing something with their next piece of hardware. Oh, maybe I do invest in that. Maybe I don't. Maybe I have other ways to access their platform that I wasn't aware of before. Maybe this is the way that they end up reaching more people.
That's fine. It's still not going to hurt PlayStation though, because again,
it doesn't have to hurt PlayStation.
Certain games. Well, but you asked why would PlayStation allow that to happen? Because it doesn't hurt them. It only helps them. They can either have nothing, right, and not allow Xbox to put their games on there, right, and have nothing and have the same outcome that they would with their own first-party games, their own first-party titles, and their hardware, or they can accept Xbox games and take a piece from Xbox, make more money, enhance their own customers' experience within the PlayStation by offering more games that weren't available prior to this, right? And still go do what they do with their first party, which is why they have those fans in their ecosystem in the first place. At least that's what they all claim, is that PlayStation makes the game they want to play, and they know those people aren't going to leave. So they're winning because there's no downside to it. But again, because if Xbox picks up people on, if Xbox, hold on, just one second.
Go ahead.
If Xbox does pick up people from doing this, if they get some PlayStation fans to, let's say, some of their PlayStation fans obviously
they already have
a PC, right? Right? Oh, of course. No, but I'm saying outside of just buying the games, right? Which is, of course, that's the main goal. But let's say, to your wider point, as Xbox tries to get more monthly active users, that's their new thing. That's been the thing for a while that we've known about, that we've talked about. Let's say a bunch of the PlayStation, people do have the PCs, and all of a sudden somebody says, you know what, I really like what Xbox is throwing down. I've been playing these games on PlayStation. Let me go sign up for PC GamePass. Well, then that's okay too. Again, that does not hurt Sony in any way, shape, or form. But yes, Xbox does get a benefit. So of course, that's why Xbox, on top of just making more money off their IPs and reinvigorating some of their older IPs that they're trying to bring back, like Gears, and then down the road, Halo, obviously that's big for them. And if they gain that extra PC Game Pass player, well, then fantastic. But it does nothing to Sony. It doesn't hurt them in any way, shape, or form. So there's nothing but a benefit here for Sony, because again, they're not competing one for one anymore with Xbox in that way. They may still act like it in some terms, right? Of course, buying up third-party exclusivity, that kind of stuff to promote their equipment, their box, their ecosystem. But at the same time, they know that Microsoft isn't coming after PlayStation 6. Microsoft is going to try to carve their own niche, just like what Switch did. And they don't look at Nintendo per se as a direct competitor either. So I think that's why they would accept these games, because it just doesn't hurt them. That's my only thought.
But I think that just plays into. I think that just plays into the way people treat the different platforms, though. So it's just because then your mentality should change on PlayStation as well. Because again, if it has been because of one side delivering better games than the other side, and you're proving that it's not just about, or people just aren't willing to invest in another platform because they have investment in another platform, and now that people are getting access to certain games that they're just going to play them anyway because gamers are gamers, then but that's what also is interesting to me, but that's why I also say, like, I don't know what to anticipate for the future, other than I am interested in the direction that Microsoft and Xbox are taking this.
Of course, so am I. Absolutely. Again,
and that's as an Xbox fan, but that's because I want more people in the ecosystem. But that's also why I mentioned I'm speaking more for the ecosystem front than I am for anything else. And I don't know if it's necessarily about getting it, because at the end of the day, what's going to happen if things aren't the way that they were before? Then that kind of defeats the whole point of people seeing this as a competition in the first place, which is also something that we've talked about, that these companies have always been kind of in cahoots with each other in one way or another.
Of course they are. Yeah.
Playing armchair, being buddy, and hey, we're gonna get this and do that and everything else. But that just destroys the whole the whole console thing. Again, would just relieve both sides of being able to make consoles the way that they see fit in the best way that they can. And if that's what the consumer wants, then.
But that's where Microsoft would check out and outsource that steel and just allow third parties to make a box.
But if it's still called an Xbox, then what?
It's not going to, it's going to be like an Alienware. I'm just throwing out Alienware Xbox or Alienware X, right? But it's going to do everything. So it's going to be, again, that PC, that in between, right? Console and PC, just like Steam tried to do with the Steam machines, but they can just outsource that and not make it themselves, right? And so there won't truly be a first party. I'm just saying that I still believe they're going to have some type of hardware, whether they just stick with like a handheld like Nintendo is doing or something like that. I still believe there's potential after this next gen that Xbox still has some type of hardware for sure. But I don't think it's outrageous for Tom to go the way that they're going, that Microsoft Corporation would just go, why are we doing this? There's no point. And we have the ability now, if they get this to work still the way that we think they are, and the way they've talked about, we have the ability to have one version of the game go out to all of our customers, no matter where they're playing. What's the need for a box anymore that we produce ourselves? What is the reason for that? Why we don't need to do that anymore, because now we have this huge ecosystem that reaches anybody everywhere outside of probably still PlayStation, and Nintendo probably still will not allow GamePass on their devices at that point even. But I'm just saying that these people will have access to so many other points. What's the point of us making and spending money on a first party box that doesn't make us really any money when we can outsource it to third parties? I just don't think it's wild for Tom Henderson to suggest after this next gen that Xbox might go that route, that Microsoft might pull the plug and just say, hey, we're going to focus on software and subscriptions, and that's what we're going to do because that's our business model. That's truly where they made most of their money. So,
there's just no way. There's just no way in the reality of things that would be the move that they would move going forward, even after this, even after this next generation.
Nobody thought they would close down Nokia either after buying them, but they did.
That's Nokia. I mean, it got in point. I mean, they're still creating Surface, and Surface isn't like the most.
But barely, and that's on life support. But barely.
But they're doing it, and gaming is even more different. What if they're able to combine that? We already know the Surface team has got on board with the hardware team as well. So if that's the case, then guess what? The only direction forward is for things to become more PC-like. And if you're given a console experience on a PC-like device and it's labeled Sony or Xbox or PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo or whatever the case, whatever it may be, I think that's the way that you can offer competition. It's going to be an ecosystem. It's going to be
we've always
ecosystem wars.
We always said that that's what's probably going to.
So that's what I mean, though.
But it's still not going to matter because I'm just saying. I've always said all along that they want to be the gatekeepers for everybody's storefront on Azure servers. I think it's the ultimate goal for Satya and for Microsoft Corp was to prove to the gaming space that they could run the Xbox ecosystem off the Azure servers, get cloud gaming up and running, get cloud development up and running, and prove everybody that they had the leading tech when it came to that, and that it could all be run through the Azure servers. And eventually, whenever this is, 20 years, I'm not saying next gen, 20 years from now, when PlayStation and Nintendo do move to that future still, as things are going to change, no matter what anybody wants it to be, it is going to change, that they then look to Microsoft and say, you've had so much success growing your ecosystem that they join the Azure servers and the cloud servers through Microsoft, and their storefronts are available there right alongside Xbox, and everybody accesses all of their games all of their storefronts through one point. And that
well, there are people who feel like PlayStation wouldn't do that.
Correct. And I don't disagree right now, but I'm saying eventually as tech just continues to move forward, and there's no guarantee. I'm just saying Microsoft's positioning that I believe that they've been trying to position themselves forever is to be the gatekeeper where everybody enters in to that door where they host all of the ecosystems in the Azure servers in the cloud, but you just walk in that one access point and there's your PlayStation library. There's
and I don't want them to do that
there's
either.
Your Xbox, there's your Steam library.
I want there to be competition. I want to be able to access stuff, but there still has to be competition. I think there just could be more so competition on the gaming front, and that's what always where the focus should have been in the first place.
The competition in the gaming front still is going to come from the indie developers as AI catches up even more and more and more here, and people like you and I, with no development experience, can start making games with the help of AI. That's where your competition is going to come from. It's changing. It's going to change everything. Because you're going to have millions of people making games. Like even more so than we do now.
There's already a lot of that going on now. To beat again.
Right. I'm just saying it's going to get more and more and more and more and more. And having a big AAA dev team isn't going to mean as much as it does today, 10 years from now.
But again, but at that point, it wouldn't be about having a AAA dev team. Of course, having the AAA dev teams, and hopefully that would help the AAA dev team get deeper in their bag and really get more impressive with the type of things and type of software that they put out there. Hopefully that's what ends up happening.
I love the hope that happens, but we've seen them just breaking more and more. So
I think the other thing too is also giving people an ecosystem where they know that their game will be accessed, or people will be able to get hands on, or I still don't know if they want people to be grazers the way that you are. I think it feels kind of obvious that they do in some ways, right? With all the games that have released within the last 2 months on GamePass by itself, I feel like it's almost obvious that they want you to kind of touch on the different games that kind of come through and get a feel for things, which is, I can get why people try to say that it's a rental service, but at the end of the day, you can still buy these games. You can still access them for however long. First party never goes away. Like, this is an endless library that you're going to always have access to. And in the future, if they're working on backwards compatibility, your library is only going to expand, meaning your backlog's only going to get bigger than it ever has before, meaning you're not going to leave that ecosystem. And if you can get more people invested, and if I can go to PlayStation, I got access to the Xbox games, and if PlayStation for whatever reason doesn't want to play ball, it says, we're no longer taking Xbox games, or we want to take this, and people are finding value in it, it could be a negative mark on them. And then PlayStation has allowed this happen in their ecosystem while they've been trying to build up their own ecosystem, and they're already shutting down PlayStation stars. Nobody else can sign up. We don't know what the case was. Poor marketing, low engagement. Is this a leadership shift? That's the news that came out this week. While in the meantime, Xbox continues to deliver more games to them. Again, Hellblade 2 going to PlayStation 5. I don't think is the newest news in the world that anybody's surprised by this. Right? The first game was already on PlayStation before. Of course, it makes sense that the second game is going to be there. But then you have games like Space Marine. There aren't a Space Marine remake, remaster, or whatever the case, that isn't going to be on PlayStation.
Seemingly right now. We'll see.
Right now. So there's still ways that you can play the competition game, just in a different way.
What's that?
Which, like, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really do anything. At the end of the day, it should release to everywhere regardless. And that is still true in my belief. But if you're going to play this, if they're going to get it anyway, see, and that's the difference. If I'm going to deliver a product to your platform, no matter what, and that's the thing that PlayStation still has, right? That mystery, whether they're going to deliver it other places or not. Whereas Xbox is seemingly, or Microsoft is seemingly come out and says, hey, it is more than likely that most of our games are going to start coming to other places. So maybe that's the magic that you're speaking to that these people still have. But that's only going to work but for so long. Like, I want to see Xbox and PlayStation get back in their bag for its competition on a games front. Stop worrying about this hardware shit because y'all are making the same shit. It is making no sense. Focus on your ecosystem. If your ecosystem is not going to provide, hey, God of War, Horizon, every first-party IP PlayStation that you have in part of you, whatever ecosystem that you got that I can get access to in a similar way to Xbox, it's not going to be interesting to me. And for the people that want to continue to spend $70, $80, $90 for their games, I hear you. I don't mind paying the monthly fee of what Xbox is delivering from me because I continue to get value from it. And there's so many other benefits as well as like, oh, I didn't have to get this one. I didn't have to get Oblivion. Oh, so now I can get this indie game like me and Paul were talking about. It opens other doors for you and expands your palette as a gamer. And that's like, yo, shout out to Xbox. I'm more than happy as ever as a consumer. But then people say, oh, well, you're not a real Xbox fan. Like, what do you mean? No, and I get it, Dixie. And that's the one thing about E3 that does make me sad that I didn't get a chance to really truly experience it. He says, still, your best bet is to watch E3 reruns from back in the day if you want real competition. That's what I'm saying. But to me, Nixie, what's funny about that, if you asked me during that time, especially from that 2001 to 2013, there was no competition for Xbox. If you were a single player, if you liked multiplayer games, Xbox was the end all be all. That was the platform to get if you played multiplayer games. So to me, the competition has never really been in play until people started being like, oh, we like these movie games now. Oh, I don't like to be all sweaty and play the game. I don't want to be good at a game. I want to play on easy. Ooh, it's too hard now. I want to play story. These movie games. So, but again, it's just me giving my perspective of why I see things the way that I do. And it's just, to me, it's always funny because I do sometimes feel like I do still live in the gray area of it all because it's like I care about the hardware. I really do. But I want to see innovation in a different way. Like, do something special. Are you going to deliver me a piece of hardware that I can carry anywhere, dock it on my TV? I can pull out, I can maybe change a setting. Now it's in Windows mode and I can maybe surf the web and I could do this. You're giving me an all-in-one platform. Like, these are the things that interested us back in the day. You got a PlayStation 2 because of the DVD player. You got an Xbox because of the hard drive. You got a PlayStation 3 because of the Blu-ray. Like, you got an Xbox One because maybe you wanted to use the Kinect. That was more so in the 360 thing, but still, you know what I mean? Like, there were these things that are happening. There aren't those differences now, so I don't know, man. I want to see more game competition. I want to see a PlayStation showcase. What games are coming? Tell me. What is your first party delivering? We don't know. All these questions that people had for Xbox when they had only 5 studios, and now people wanted these games to come out. Since 2017, changes have been made. We're almost a decade in, and we're starting to get just an avalanche of BS. I'm not going to call it BS because it's not. We're just getting an avalanche of nonstop stuff. I'm here at a standstill because I don't know what to play next. You know what I mean? And there's only one player. There's only one ecosystem that I know is doing that for me. At least for my interest. So that's just where I come from. But we'll see. We'll continue to see. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what's going to. That is the point. I just don't know what is going to happen next. What is the move for the future?
But I'm just saying that's a fascinating part about it. But it's a good conversation to have. And like I said, I just, whatever. I think everybody.
GeForce Now on Xbox.
Correct.
What if that comes to your console, Paul?
What?
What if GeForce Now comes to, because it's on PC right now. So
I'm not gonna pay for it because you still have to own the game, so that means I still have to go buy the game.
I mean, but fair. But if you want to play on your TV and you got instant access to GeForce, right? And you just wanted to expand your library because again, you like to turn on the console, pop it on.
If I didn't have a PC, for sure. If I didn't have the PC Steel, for sure. If I didn't
Yeah,
have the PC, for sure. If I was a console only player still, I would seriously consider that, right? If that was the case, right? I would consider that as
That's more what I meant.
Kind of a band-aid in between, for sure. Like me as a gamer, yes, I would think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, no, I think it's dope. Again, options are great to me. This is the way we're going. And that is the case. Just don't turn it back. So more options, the better for me. And I'm going to ride it until the wheels fall off. Whatever happens, I'm going to ride this train. And again, like you said, I'm still, again, I've had RoboCop on my PC for 2 months now. And I didn't touch it, but it became available on my Series X while I was grazing this week on sale for $7. And I pick it up and I wind up playing through the first level on my Series X. Again, the convenience factor to me is still massive. And I might be a small group of people who think that way, but I know there's a lot of us that are still out there that still have that, even if we have more capable PCs right here, hooked up to our TVs, ready to go, that the convenience of the console, pushing one button, my system turns on, pushing my TV on, and that's it. And I'm in gaming and I don't fiddle with settings. Bro, there's just something about that's still better. Right. And that's why I will be interested in Xbox's next console for next gen. And if they can get me my Steam library in there, and they can get me my Epic library in there, they get me my GOG library in there, holy shit, it'll be the best thing ever, Steel. It will be the greatest thing ever. I will be out here touting it as a freaking fantastic box to have next to your TV. And you guys can all say that I'm capping for it, but I will be loving it because of what it will offer me, the ease of use, and having all of my games available in one spot will be dope as fuck.
And what if the moves you're making right now ends up getting people to invest because of that interest? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because their competition isn't offering, PlayStation isn't doing something that's similar, although they're rumored to do it handheld as well. So
it would be an addition to their PlayStation. It would not replace their PlayStation. It would be for those enthusiasts, Steel, who do have the extra money to then, as I stated, look over and go, I really don't want to buy a PC. I'm a console only dude. I got my PlayStation where I play most of my games, but damn, if Xbox isn't offering something really dope, I could start building a Steam library right now without having to buy a PC and play it through a console with
console-like experience still.
I might go grab that box. I've said that all along. Now, how many people that is, that's what we're going to find out. But is that still something to be for sure? That's definitely mind share that you could grab for sure. I think there is some, I've said it all along. I think if Xbox does it right, there is some room to grow in that space for sure. And I do think that that's something that we're going to see if they pull all of this off. Because nobody else is gonna be doing it unless Steam jumps back in.
I love this shit, man. I really do.
Yeah.
It's just insane. I mean, again, we can go an hour just based on that alone.
It's a full partnership with Steam. Once if they make a Steam machine, but it's just based on the Xbox hardware that the Xbox is making, and that's how the deal that they cut to have Steam on both ways is that Steam gets to use their technology and produce their own box, right? And label it as a Steam box, but they still get to label it that way. That's something, a possibility too. That'd be pretty dope.
That would be really dope. But again, it's just how does everybody play that same game? And if you're saying that PlayStation doesn't have to play that same game, then what?
No.
That's what I mean by the Trojan horse, because if Microsoft is already shaking all the right hands, and then you come to now shake hands, and PlayStation has proven that they like to cut deals behind the scenes. Again, Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade still ain't never coming to Xbox, although they were originally announced to be coming to the platform.
PlayStation don't have to cut those deals because they still can sell 100 million boxes. Pretty simple.
We'll see. We'll see how long that lasts. They can continue to deliver good hardware, I guess we'll see. I mean, I don't think their current hardware is good. So, I mean, but again, that's me. I know people see it. I mean, we're finding out that the PlayStation 5 Pro is still not outpacing the Series X, you know?
Bro. So, you're just not listening to the right people, Steel.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. My fault.
The Pro makes a PC unnecessary, so you're good.
It's just the right people. It's just the right people I'm not listening to. That's all that it is. That's my fault.
Oh shit.
But
I love you guys. Good conversations in chat. I
please?
appreciate all you. I mean, I again, lots of good conversation in here. Can they though? They're still at 70 million. Well, they're at 77 million, and they're projected because GTA 6. You forget GTA 6.
It's going to sell consoles for both sides.
GTA 6 is going to. I mean, I think they said for next year, the next fiscal year, they were projecting 20+ million again, right? So I think
Xbox will do the same. Yeah.
I don't think they'll get 20 million because I don't think Xbox is making that many Xboxes. I think Xbox might sell 5 to 10 million, maybe. But maybe. That's a big maybe. We'll see how soon they announce their new box and their new handheld too. But I think that PlayStation will make it to 100 million again this time around, God Emperor. Now, again, with PlayStation 6, we're going to see what they're going to offer and what that comes to. But I just think that until they start seeing a very significant decline in their console base, I just think Sony is going to continue to be resistant to change. And I don't think that's right now. They're not seeing that. That's the thing they keep touting still. Look at how many consoles we've sold. Like, it's the thing. So I don't think they're going to change their ways.
They're saying that, but they're also coming out and saying that they're changing the strategy. So,
but
they're saying that, hey,
they've been saying it for years.
But now we're hearing it from people that are higher up in the chain.
Okay. When day and date
more recent
happens on PC, we'll start talking. When day and date on PC starts happening, we will talk. Until that happens, that's just talking points for the investors. That's all it is. They still believe, I think, and again, this is just they still believe that they have enough draw that they can still make that happen, the monthly active users through their console base, without doing day-and-day PC and without putting their games elsewhere.
We'll see.
So we'll see.
We'll see if they can keep that up. I don't think they will, but we'll see. Ghostwolf says, still in Palm, do y'all think COVID had a huge hand in sales for PlayStation 5? Also, if yes, how many PlayStations y'all think would have been sold if COVID never happened? I think it probably would have been, I would probably say maybe 15 million less. Maybe.
I was going to say 15%. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 5-10 million less. I don't really know because so many people stayed on the old hardware. That's the nuts part about this generation.
That's the other thing too.
That's the hard Ghostwolf. That's the hard thing to judge, is because this generation has been so different because all the big game manufacturers, publishers, and devs, including first party, continued to make their games for last gen and didn't force people into this gen. Bro, that skews all of these stats. That skews all of them because what would we hear? Nearly half of PlayStation owners were still on PS4, and
there was like 40%
half of Xbox. Nearly half of Xbox owners were in the same spot. That's why everybody's been waiting for Call of Duty to go next gen only, because that would be one of the big ones that could do it. Madden, and then, but of course, the massive one is GTA, and that's what everybody knew.
It's okay.
So I think these numbers are so skewed, it's hard to tell what the pandemic did because, yes, more people bought into video gaming. So there was more consoles being sold during the pandemic because people who had never owned a console before now got into gaming and bought consoles. But so many of the already gamers just stayed on the OG gaming on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, right? That they just stayed there because they didn't have to move because the games kept coming. So I think that's where you look at these numbers and you go, would it be more? Would it be less? Well, I think that had a big impact, not having to worry about moving to get the latest and greatest games. I think people just stuck it out. So I don't know, Steel. It is a different generation, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and obviously they were hard to get to. They were hard to get to as well.
Yeah,
for a while there, for sure.
Let's see what else we're going to jump to here. I know we're going to wind things down here in a little bit. Chat, let us know if there's anything that you would like to bring up in here. I mean, we knocked out quite a few things, all in a midst of a conversation. Yeah, I mean, we have quite a few things, involved some things. Quite quick side note, Expedition 33. I was listening to a dev interview with them with Pirate Software. Shout out to him. I think he's still a decent dude. I think he does good work out there and stuff. So, but apparently, a lot of people were trying to run from it, but even the dev himself, the creator, the visionary behind it all, says he was inspired. The whole reason the dodge mechanic and the dodge and parry mechanic is in the game is because he was inspired by Sekiro. So, for everybody that tried to deny it,
and it makes sense why it didn't click with me. Steel makes complete sense why it didn't click with me at all.
So, I mean, he does acknowledge that there are definitely other games that have done something similar. But as far as, his direct motivation, he was playing Sekiro early on in development and he said, hey, this feels kind of dope. This feels kind of cool. What if I could put this in? What if I put this in my game? And he said it changed the complete feel of his game for him and he liked it. So that's why he did it.
Ray, I think it's just you, brother. I'm looking good on my side. I haven't had any buffering. So
I know else has had buffering, Pong got a little choppy here off and on.
I did get choppy, but it just happened. Like Ray's just said, his stream is buffering. I think it's just you, brother, right now.
Okay.
Because I'm looking pretty good on my side. So
okay, gotcha.
King Styles, what's going on, brother? See you jumping in here.
What up, King? Appreciate you coming through.
Wow, Games, let's see you jumping here too.
FTC dropped the Activision Blizzard case. Hey, it's finally over.
Yep.
I don't know if that's like huge news, but again, we knew that was kind of winding down. At this point, I know I wrote on X. At this point, it's just been proven to be a waste of money and time. Like I don't know how else to prove it. I mean, and maybe because of what they did has caused Xbox to make all the moves that they have. Sure, just to save face. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it would have negatively impacted anything if they would have just let it go through.
They would have.
I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like this was done for the sake of doing due diligence. That's my only thing, right? To make sure that somebody or the consumer was not being taken advantage of. Again, and that's my biggest take on it. So
yeah,
it just feels like a waste. Hey, let's get these big companies to spend a bunch of money fighting something that we really don't have a backing for, and go from there. Oh, we have a concern.
More justify our existence.
At least that's how it felt. That's how it feels.
Yep, justify the existence of the FTC. Here's what it is.
I know me and Pong, another quick hitter here. This is via Sacred Symbols. Apparently, Neil Druckman confirms that a cure was possible in the first Last of Us. Me and Pong talked about this a little bit in the backstage. Again, that's what I was talking about. Maybe we do a sub only backstage segment, but yeah, man.
Get off. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good. But apparently, Neil Druckman says his original intention for the first Last of Us game was that they were going to be able to get a cure or be able to have a cure. Me and Pong were just mentioning like, hey man, I don't want to be the guy to tell a creative what the intention of his work was, but that's not what I got from the game when I played it. So, and from what I know on a basic level for science, and that you're trying to get me to believe that your science was so advanced for the time, again, it just makes me feel like, did you play your game? The first game, like there was never a time where I thought, man, these guys are so advanced, they're going to figure it out. It's for sure. There was never a moment where like, I was like, yo, there's a way out. But again, that's what made that whole first experience so unique. Wasn't necessarily a right or wrong, but again, that's the angle that he wants to put on it. I just won't play a second game, bro. Like, yeah, I mean, that just solidifies it that I just never play Last of Us 2. Along with you not having the multiplayer, I don't need to play the first game. Because that just, the second game. Because that, to me, I'd rather just live in the experience that I had. And I appreciate it for that. So, Go says, oh my God, I'm on The Last of Us on PlayStation 3 and 4, but still have not played it. I need to see what the hubbub is about. It's a good game. Nixie says, so the series should end soon by Deal's logic. I don't. If his intention was for them to be able to get a cure from Ellie, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that information is my biggest thing. Because again, if you played the game, which most people say that they have who have experienced Last of Us on some level. If you've played the game, there's no way that you walked away with, oh, it was for sure. That was the intention. I felt like the intention, like maybe you came to this intention later. You came to this conclusion later. But again, especially when you see some of the changes that have been made in the show as well. I haven't seen the second season. I thought the first season was decent. I thought it was solid. I still don't like Ellie as, her actor. I like her in Game of Thrones, but no shade to her. I mean, I feel like she's acting the part. She's just not the part. You know what I mean? That's just not what I imagined for that, which, hey, it is what it is. That's just crazy to me, man. But then again, it just lines up because I've listened to Neil in other interviews, and again, he is on that creative side. I don't see him like Kojima as an example. I know a lot of people have shade on Kojima. I don't have that experience with Metal Gear like a lot of people do. I have like that outsider experience of people telling me about the stories and me just always being interested in all these different snakes and all this stuff going on and all the crazy stories, and then actually playing Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid 5. And enjoying that, and people saying that that's the worst. That's not even a good one. If people feel some kind of way about that, and seeing what he has kind of done with like Death Stranding and so on and so forth, and I can see him as a creative. Neil, I don't know, man. He puts a lot of shade on the gamer for sure. He puts a lot of fucking shade on the gamer. As far as just not understanding his vision or whatever. But again, he's a creative. What can you do, man? You like it or you don't. But so that's kind of my take on that side of it. Paul, is there anything additional you wanted to add on as far as that goes?
I mean, I'll just give a brief synopsis of what our background talk was. I'm in the same boat as Steele. Again, you guys know my feeling on Druckman. I've been quite clear on this for a long time. He is somebody who likes to breathe his own farts, and he believes his farts don't stink. He thinks that they smell like lilacs and cotton candy. For me, I can't stand it, dude. He believes that like I said, I get just from way outside, just going all the way back in the day through the history of Naughty Dog since I've played their game since back in the day. Neil believed that he was always a better storyteller and a better writer than Amy Hennig. And he always believed that. And I think after Amy Hennig left, he really wanted to prove that he was. And Last of Us was his way to do that by twisting what he had made into something so completely from left field that people would hate it, which he admitted he knew that part of the fan base would not like it, to try to prove that he was great and that was somehow creative. And like I said, I think he personally took the easy way out. A story of revenge, to me, is much easier to create than continuing Joel and Ellie's story and their developing relationship as that father-daughter like.
It was complicated already.
Very complex. Yes, very complex. I think that would have been much more difficult to explore and to create than a simple revenge story and kill off a beloved character and call it a day. And then now to go back all these years later and to start trying to create narratives to justify, as your show now also is going to show or has shown, again, I don't really care because I don't care about the show, the death of Joel, that you're going to try to somehow now go back and start, all along it was, they were going to get the cure to justify why you killed Joel. I just think it's just classic Druckman at this point. If that was the true intent of your creation, you would have come and talked about it long time ago when all the discussions were happening. I think that's what made The Last of Us 1, which is, again, for anybody who doesn't know, Last of Us 1 to me is a GOAT. Depending on the day of the week, top 15, top 20 all-time game for me. Okay? Massive. Huge fan right here. The story, the conversation around that ending was one of the greatest kind of, I don't want to say cliffhanger because it's not really a cliffhanger. It was one of the greatest water cooler moments in video game history. Because if you played through that game, you got to that point and you went through all that emotional roller coaster, and then that happened. That's where and it was up to each individual player. And again, a lot of it was divided on whether or not you were a parent. There was a lot of that. Like a lot of people who didn't have kids said Joel was completely in the wrong. A lot of us who did have kids were like, nah, Joel did. He made the decision he had to make. You would have come out at that point after, let's say a year or 2 years of that discussion going down and said something, if that truly was the intent. You would have cleared the air then. All this time later, whatever, Druckman. Do your thing, brother. You've always done your thing.
Like Fahim says, he says the point of The Last of Us is that revenge isn't worth it.
Right. Sure. Sure. Again, I think it's an easy way out, but who am I? I'm a nobody. I'm just saying I don't like Druckman. I think it's bullshit through and through. Again, I think he's trying to justify to all the people that were turned off by Joel's killing that it's okay now and that it should be okay because they were going to get the cure. Again, you want to go down that road. What's funny is Druckman doesn't answer all the questions that surround that. If that was the original intent, then how were the Fireflies ever going to distribute that cure? How was Abby's dad, just a simple veterinarian, suddenly going to create this cure? There's so much left out of that
bro.
To make this like 100% like, oh yeah, that's what was going to happen. Really? Okay. I mean, again, whatever. It's video games. It's a made up story. It's fictional.
I mean, it's cool to talk about. But it's interesting to talk about.
It's interesting, but now he's trying to. But that conversation is now going to get ruined if people take this as canon. If people take what Druckman is saying, if people say what now the conversation. Oh, Druckman's already answered. The cure was going to happen, so Joel was completely wrong. Like that's what I don't like. On top of it, is that was one of the greatest talking points was around that ending of that game in video game history. It's one of the greatest discussions, the ongoing discussions that has been happening forever in different parts of the video game community. You could find at any given moment people talking about that ending and discussing whether or not Joel was in the right, or discussing whether or not how bad people thought Joel was, right? In the context of that world, right? The morality behind it. Again, the revenge stuff is just too easy. The revenge stuff is boring to me. That's been done a billion times. That's not what I got out of it. Yeah.
Run that by me one more time. We was trusting a vet.
Yeah.
Bro, Abby's dad was a veterinarian. They didn't have nothing.
It wasn't like he was some top tier.
No,
one of the top.
That was the whole part. And again, I know Ghost was saying, should I be worried about spoilers? Ghost, no matter what we talk about here, going through the game is nothing by comparison.
I mean, again, we can't hold off spoilers on The Last of Us been around for how many years now? 15?
I mean, they've remade the game several times. I'm sorry, Ghost, but I've waited long enough to speak on it, but bro, that was the whole part of the reason at the end of the game what made it even more divisive, because you find out that this dude wasn't even the top of the line. Like we putting faith into somebody who's not even top of the line. I'm supposed to just lose somebody close that we're not even sure about. We ain't run no tests. You have me when I'm familiar with it, we got to run some tests or something first. You're like, you just seen she ain't turned and was like, we gotta get into that brain. I'm like, hey, yo, like, bruh, there's not a process. There's not more people we could try to find first. What if this one died? What if this is all we got? I don't know. But I enjoyed Last of Us, man. So shout out to that. Yeah, let's let the vet perform brace her. Exactly, bro. Got up exactly. It's just like, bruh. I don't know. But again, it's his creative works. If that's what he felt was best, hey man, more power to him. Again, I just want to play the second one. Let's see what else we got here. Atomfall profitable despite Game Pass release. That's also information that's been put out there this week as well. It became profitable despite launching day one in Game Pass, and we're talking about Atomfall profitability in Game Pass here. Just some quick hitters as we wind things down. The team is planning a sequel. That's dope. Apparently as well, the game did better even than they anticipated it would. So that has to be a good thing. I guess take it for what you want. Maybe they didn't make enough money, but again, if something does better than you anticipated, I think that's a good sign for you. Also supports argument that Game Pass can drive sales and engagement, and Xbox may double down on indie AA partnerships like this, which I think that they should. I think that's the smartest thing to do. If you can see that the indie space is literally coming with talent and making people look at their experiences differently, I think you should just continue to welcome that. Find ways to bring these people in. Both sides win. Maybe you give them a cut on the back end, whatever you got to do. I mean, it's working for some. Anything that you want to add on with Atomfall? Because I know you touched on it a little bit. Again, it is from the people who made Sniper Elite, right?
The
same devs,
Sorry,
right?
Not no. Sniper Elite wipe. Wait, no.
Isn't it? Or am I thinking of a different?
Yeah, it's Sniper Elite. It's Sniper Elite. Yeah. It's Sniper Elite.
Think about a different team.
Sorry, I got too many other things on my mind. No, as far as Atomfall goes, yeah, we're also getting the expansion for Atomfall. Atomfall is another one that I think a lot of people should try and see whether or not they enjoy it. If you got access to Game Pass, try Atomfall. I think there's a lot to love. I still have it downloaded, and I do want to get back to it. I do like it. I've seen some people really love it. I think it's dope that the devs came out again and just confirmed that something we've talked about time and time again, that nobody's forced into Game Pass.
Yeah.
This isn't a requirement by Xbox to put your game on Xbox. The way some people act out here, these devs cut deals with Phil and the team, right? I'm sure some deals work out better for some devs than they do other devs, but that's a deal. Like there's not going to be, it's not going to be a win-win for everybody all the damn time at all, but nobody's forced. So the fact that they did, and they talked about it, and I don't know if you touched on it, but in the interview, they did talk about how it did, it softens the risk overall for the game. And the fact that they got paid up front for it, which, obviously takes into account for their deal, it sounds like a certain amount of sales. And then the success of the game thereafter pushed that to a very successful mark. That's freaking huge. Again, that's huge for Rebellion. Rebellion's a AA team. This is a new IP. This is something that they're trying. It's a different style game than they're used to. And it's different style from their most popular games in Sniper Elite. So the fact that it all worked out for them is beautiful. I love when this comes out. It's talked about again. Nobody else picks up on it. They only pick up on the devs that have a complaint about Game Pass or their negativity around Game Pass. Articles that come out, they never pick up on this stuff. Where a dev actually comes out and says, it was freaking fantastic for us. It did exactly what we wanted it to, and it was huge. And they got a lot of traffic from that game just through Game Pass. So now we're getting DLC. Now we're getting an expansion on that game. And I think it's awesome because I said all along that Atomfall, for their first time trying a game like an Obsidian style game or an Arcane style game, I think that Rebellion did pretty damn well. And I think that there is something to build on here. So I'm happy for the devs. Happy to hear that this all worked out for everybody and that they found a lot of success. So it's good stuff, man.
Super dope. Other than that, I mean, the only thing that happened this week was the Chrono Odyssey closed beta announcement that is happening in June. It is only going to be available on Steam, unfortunately, but the game is still planning on releasing on all platforms. So that's something for people to be interested in if you are. It's more of an action-based, massively multiplayer online role-playing game, just for those who aren't familiar with the term, and MMO. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. Not much else to add on there, other than it is meant to be more small scale. So I'll start with that. It's meant to be also team based, right? They want the intention to be you go in with your team of 4 other people, so a team of 5 altogether, and take on different quests and traverse the world and kind of level up in your own way. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out. I have more familiarity with it due to like Black Desert Online. I never played World of Warcraft, never got into that. Never really dove too deep into Final Fantasy 14 either, so I couldn't give you that reference. Black Desert, the only reference that I can give you, and a lot of the things that they're talking about in here sounds like things that we had in Black Desert, maybe on a smaller scale. We don't know how big the map's going to be. It's just going to be interesting to see, because I think that this is going to be a standout versus the other ones that have come out. Way better than what's the Throne of Liberty, and then there's another one too. I think it's New something, or I'm off base. Either way, so I'm excited for that one. So nothing else to bring it in there, but it is coming from, again, another game from Korea, I believe, made by Kakao, who used to be teamed up with Pearl Abyss, who Pearl Abyss is releasing Crimson Desert, their single player game. So we'll see what ends up happening, man. I'm excited for it. Gogo says, I thought you played WoW before. You seem like you'd be a hardcore raider still. Yeah, I've never played World of Warcraft in my life, ever.
Nope, still is not.
When the craze was big like that, I was playing Halo and Gears. There's no way. Ghost Recon, like Call of Duty, I was on that side of it. I think during that time, the closest thing that I can draw probably reference to is I was playing a lot of Warcraft 3, Reforged, because you can go online. They had the hero arenas, and that's when Defense of the Ancients DOA was out back then, before it became League. You know what I mean? Then Neverwinter Nights would probably be the next closest thing that I played. So, and at this point, I would never want to. I don't even want them to release WoW on console. Make WoW 2, please. If you're gonna do it, just do WoW 2. I would be more interested in playing that than I would be playing the first game, because I want to see that level up. Because I think Activision, I think Blizzard could really make a big step up in the MMO space with that. So, but yeah, that's kind of my experience with it. But yeah, I mean, but other than that, it's pretty much all that's on my list. I know we were wanting to wrap things up so Paul can get some things taken care of.
We got to talk about Pitchford real quick, though.
Yeah, like bring it up.
Yeah.
Well, what you go ahead and tell me about good old Randy, man. How we told you that if you're Pong, I mean, I gotta find it. Aren't you a real fan? Are you not? Aren't you a real fan?
I removed that tag. Let's see here. God dang it! I make so many posts. I gotta find this. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. I think this is it. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. I know I'm in the area. I know I'm in the area somewhere.
Good old Randy the handy.
There we go, Randy. So, for anybody who know what happened this week, there was a post by Nintendo of America with a little behind the scenes on May 13th. Catch what Gearbox official has to say this week about creator's voice about Borderlands 4 and how it's bringing the chaos to a new level on Switch 2. And Randy quote tweeted that and said, I am so very excited for the Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm even more excited to bring Borderlands 4 to this incredible, magical machine. Thanks, Randy. Perfect. Cool.
Appreciate it.
A gentleman at Old Gold Sot, S-O-T. I don't know if that's Sea of Thieves or not.
Probably.
Tweeted at underneath, responded to Randy's tweet and said, Randy, game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of consistent increase of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. Randy then goes on to say, responds to him. He says, not my call. That should have been the end of it. Right there, Randy. Right there. Sometimes you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, Randy. Yeah. That was it. That was it. That's all you needed. Not my call. But he put a B, everybody. And this is what caught everybody's attention. This is what got picked up by all the major news sites. This is one of those things that you don't want to have happen nowadays, because it is something, when we talk about video games specifically, that people are waiting to jump all over. And I jumped all over it, including myself, because again, I laugh at a lot of Randy's nonsense, right? Randy's been eccentric throughout his career, and as a big Borderlands fan, as a Gearbox guy for a long ass time, I know Randy's crazy, and Randy said a lot of shit through the years, done a lot of things through the years. The stories about Randy are pretty damn insane. But I can't dismiss this as just Randy being Randy. This is the state of a lot of the AAA space in his B here. He goes, B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991. When I was just out of high school and working minimum wage in an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen.
He found a way, Pong. You're not going to find a way?
No, this is whether or not I would have found a way. And again, I'm not the dude saying I'm not going to spend $80. I told you guys this. I was day one on Borderlands 4. If they came out and said $79.99, I probably would have bought it because I love Borderlands. Okay, it's just me. I would have said something about it, but I probably still would have bought it. But this is the problem with the AAA space. Now, we've got people out here, legit, Steel. I know you said you weren't watching what some of the dark alleys were saying this week.
Yeah,
we got people defending this from Pitchford. We got people defending this out here, Steel.
I heard the beans say that you need more Randys out here.
Bro, listen. I just, the AAA space needs a hard reset. We are at the tipping point now, and I think we're actually beyond the tipping point in a lot of ways. We've talked about it. I'm not going to rehash what's wrong with the AAA space. Everybody kind of knows what's wrong with the AAA space right now. But this mentality right here from the CEO of a company, this is a problem. Okay? Even if you believe this in your head as a CEO, and there are plenty of CEOs. Again, former EA CEO said that maybe we should start charging for per reload in Battlefield, floated that idea. Even if this shit's in your head, you should know in 2025 not to say this publicly. You should know never to say this publicly to your customers. This is not how you do it. Whether right, wrong, or indifferent, he is right in some weird way, of course, that people will spend exorbitant amounts of money on bullshit because they're fans of shit. Okay? Mm-hmm. It happens every day. I'm no fucking different. Nobody is different. Nobody's really immune from that shit. We all have our stuff. But to say this out loud, the entitlement that it takes to say, if you are a real fan, suggesting that if somebody who was not financially able, somebody who is a budget gamer, I am a budget gamer myself. My budget may be bigger than a lot of people's, but I'm still budgeted. I don't unlimited. I don't buy every single game by any stretch of the imagination nowadays. Not even close. But if somebody was really on a shoestring budget, but is a super fan of Borderlands and just might not be able to make it day one because of the $80 price point, that's why you never say this type of shit. It makes no person less of a fan if they don't have the ability to, or even if somebody said, I'm not spending $80 on video games, I will wait for sales. I'm not supporting the $80 across the board. I'm never buying a video game at $80. Even if somebody said that, does not make them less of a fan, Randy. And to come out and say this nowadays, when you know for a fact that this is going to draw attention, that this is going to be plastered everywhere. You have a game launch months away. Your team has busted their ass. You guys just had a great showing of that game, and you come out and pour water all the fuck over it with some stupid ass shit that never needs to be said. This is the stuff that pisses me off. This is the stuff that tells me that this AAA space, specifically the AAA space, from the CEOs on down to a lot of the devs, even to some of the community managers out here, have not learned their fucking lessons about who pays their bills and why they're even in this space creating games. And you can say, well, you're lucky to even have games so you can have this hobby. I would have other fucking hobbies if video games never were around. The fact that you guys all exist, that you get to be here making these games and make a whole lot of money. Randy Pitchford is a multi-millionaire. The fact that that even happens is because of us as the consumers, because of the fans who were around when you first created this little IP called Borderlands and took it to an astronomical level. Because the game was good, yes, but because a whole bunch of people supported you. A whole lot of people who supported you through 2, through 3, through Tiny Tina's, and now we're looking forward to 4. And you come out and you shit on them directly or indirectly with a dumbass comment. This is the problem with the AAA space these days. This is something where the industry's grown to mammoth sizes. Number one entertainment industry in the world. These people literally think that their shit don't stink. I was just talking about one in Druckman. Pitchford is another one.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky to have a job like this where you get to create stuff and you have fans. You never, ever treat your fans like this. Of course it's a business. We all know it's a business. We all know it. But that does not mean you say the shit out loud. You have to remain respectful to those fans, otherwise you will lose your fan base very quickly. So, massive problem with this. He has come out and made a semi-apology. Let's see if I can find really quick here.
I was say because Nixie says seems like gamers like to be spoken to in a fraudulent way.
A fraudulent way? No, Nixie. No, Nixie. It's not fraudulent to not say some stupid shit. That's not fraudulent. That's not fraudulent. But again, that's fine if you want to say that he spoke his truth, like some of the other people are out here. Oh, I'd much rather hear this from Randy. Cool. Well, great. Then I could be upset and I'm not buying his game day one. I will wait for one of their sales to come around. I will not buy it day one.
And that's kind of the thing. It's just like certain things is just it doesn't quite make sense for the goal that you're trying to accomplish. If your goal is to speak to your audience or to say, hey, ABC reasons, whatever the case.
And Nixie, I don't believe for a minute that, you know, even you as a person go around speaking every single thought that's in your head to every single person that you meet. I don't believe that, sir. I think you know full well that we all think things in our heads that should probably not ever come out and be said. And that's why we have filters, right? And that's not being fraudulent to people. It's being respectful and appropriate to people in a society. That's all it is. And in a business setting that this is, in a business industry, when you're trying to sell something to somebody, you don't come out and say whatever's on your mind. If you're a salesperson, you don't go, this car really fucking sucks, but I want you to spend your money here. So I want you to buy this car. If you're not a real fan, if you don't buy this car, like that's not how you sell somebody. That's not how you market your product. And I think we all know this. I think it's common sense. Why can't I find his? Oh, here we go. I think I got it here. So, he goes, okay. So he posted, boy, howdy. Let's see. Some Moxie had tweeted, someone put the real fans tweet into a Handsome Jack AI. And okay, so somebody used his tweet, put it into an AI, and it had created a Handsome Jack quote that made Pitchford sound like Handsome Jack, obviously a villain in Borderlands. And he goes, boy, howdy, Jack GPT, is that how I sound? My bad. But cheers to Duke Nukem and Moxie OG for the funniest thing I'm going to read today. In seriousness, though, nobody likes to be taken for granted, and it was not my intent. Okay. I'm humbled by the love and support everyone has shown the team as we push hard to get this amazing game in your hands. They're crushing it, and I can't wait for everyone to play what's going to be the best Borderlands ever. Regardless of where the price lands, it's going to be worth it and then some. Back to work for me. It's about as close as apology you're going to get from them.
I mean,
Not my
again,
intent.
they're always going to want to try to get as much as they can out of the game at the end of the day, because again, it is a business, and I do agree upon, like, this just especially when you're kind of the face of of that brand, right? At least the most recognizable. It's, I don't know. I think there's just a tact to it, right? There's there's another whether. And I get what you're saying, Nixie, with people just being transparent, but it's like at the same time, it's like, what is that transparent? What are you trying to be transparent about? Just saying that because you're not saying that you don't even know if the game's going to be $80 or not. So you're being transparent about something you don't even know about.
Transparency was his A. Yeah, that transparent is, I don't make the call. Right? If that's true and correct, that's being transparent. I don't make the call. That's the end of the story. The rest of it was not being transparent.
So
again, in my opinion, I guess, whatever, it doesn't matter. I guess we're all in our opinions. I think it was awful. I think a lot of other people thought it was awful. If you don't think it's awful, that's cool. Again, there was a lot of people defending it.
It didn't come off good.
More power to you. But whatever.
It didn't come off good, man. It's just, and that's the main thing. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, again, I made the comment in the DMs. I said, okay, a bargain bin. I mean, that's how you feel.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not a real fan, man. So
I'll just wait. That's not a problem. I can wait, Randy. No big deal, man. No big deal. I'll wait.
but then it's not 80. It's 40 or 20,
right,
or whatever price it is at the time.
Yep.
You know, it's just, why give people the reason if you don't have to, you can be more tactful. I mean, that's the other thing about business and marketing as well. I get wanting to be off the cuff. I get he's an eccentric person, but you can do those things while still having tact. That's part of just being good at business, or just being good at marketing, or just being good at trying to sell a product. You know what I mean? So again, like BT Maverick says, hello CD Keys, immediately. Like, I'm not going to pay full price for your game just because you think that somebody needs to be a real fan to pay for that. I'm not. No, that's not how this works, man. You're coming off of a game that's not even that doesn't even have the same type of cachet that your second game did. Right now, people will play it, but it's like, bro, this is the time to start reinvigorating the hype. The movie didn't land with people, right? Tiny Tina's, it was good. It was good for what me and Paul played through, but critically, I don't know if it was received the greatest or what people were looking for from Borderlands of that ilk. So it's your job at this point, as being that face, to say, hey, look, man, I'm super excited, really loving what they're putting behind the scenes. Look, I don't know what's going on with this $80 price tag. Hey, it may be true, but look, I have faith that the game is going to be good. It's just about the way you said it, man. Like,
we have previous examples of this shit, right? Still, we have, well, if you don't have the internet, we got an Xbox for you. We expect our customers to get a second job to buy the PS3. We have examples of where people have said stupid shit that did not be said that Nixie is claiming is transparent. Okay, but that's not how you say it to your consumers, and the backlash tells you that it's inappropriate to say anything like that. Like, that's not, again, sales. You don't get to say shit how you want to say it. Like, you don't. Like, you have to know your customers, and you have to speak to them in a certain way. You can't just be, I'm just going to throw it out there blatantly like that. I know this is expensive. Getting yourself a second job? Oh, I know you don't have the internet. Well, that's okay. You can still play on our old machine. We know you want the new one, but you can play on the old machine. That's cool. Just go get that. Just stay with that.
And I get wanting that. Like, I get wanting that. I get that. And maybe that works for you, but to the general consumer, you can't talk to them that way. You can't. And I get where you're coming from. Like, and there's a lot of people who want people just to shoot it straight with them. But when you're actually trying to pitch it, like when you're actually getting into the product side of things, like, you have to be able to. There's a different finesse.
And there was an insult in there. You're not a real fan if you don't make it.
That's the main thing. That's the main issue. Nothing else would be a problem.
The insult
if you
was
didn't
like, yo.
provide that. Like, yo,
Right.
if I buy the game 3 years from now at $20, I wasn't a
You're
real
not a real
fan.
fan.
Like,
Right.
and especially if you end up liking the game, it's like, bro,
Right. No.
what is that thought process? But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and wrap things down. I don't want to take up too much of Paul's time. I know he's not technically on a timeline, but I do want to be able to get some things done today. So we'll cut it short here. Do a little 3-hour show. You know, I guess we'll be here with the regular kids now. You know, again, and we were still doing much longer than most.
Insults is not big boy talk, Nixie. Sorry, brother. It's just not. Insults has nothing to do with big boy talk. It wasn't the price. It wasn't the price point. It wasn't the price point. It was again how he said it. Right. Like, again, it's insulting the consumer. It's insulting the customer. It's insulting the fans that made you rich. That's the part where I'm just like, no, they got nothing to do with big boy talk. Anyways.
Well,
man.
Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you liked our jam-packed show today. We reached a lot of different avenues there. A lot of different topics got rolled into one or the other. Definitely a mixed bag today for sure, especially with what's going on in the week. Things are amping up leading into our E3 time, the showcase time. Summer Games Fest is around the corner. More games around the corner as well. I'll be able to tell you a little bit about Elden Ring Night Reign by the time we see each other next. So that's going to be really dope on next Saturday, per everything goes well. And hopefully y'all can get into having a good time over this Memorial weekend, man. A lot of energy, a lot of fun. Maybe get some little cook, a little drink in, just have a good time. So, but yeah, we'll wind it down here, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to find me again, that name is Steel Rain. That T is a 7 everywhere. Google, Google's the easiest place to type the information in, but X, otherwise known as Twitter, is the easiest place to find me. I am starting to jumped on a Fuse. I thought it was a cool gamer app, especially for people sharing content. I want to get more familiar with it, see if it's really worth it. But it's really gaming centric, man. It goes in, you can list some games that you like, list your top 10. It's really cool stuff on there, man. So I've been checking that out. And other than that, yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get knee deep in this world of Skyrim over this next week. I might try to see about getting a couple hours in today just to get some progression in, get a little bit of gaming in here before I lay down, get some of this energy worked off. But other than that, much love to you guys. I'm gonna pass it off to Paul, but I'm gonna pass it off to Paul with this message right here from Nace. He says, "Great show, guys. I'm gonna go to work on how I deliver my messages to people as I try to rip them off."
Yeah, that's what sales is. I don't know what to tell you, Nixie. I guess you've never held a sales job, and no, it's not about you'll find a way as an insult, Nixie. Why do you keep ignoring if you're a real fan, you'll find a way. Is this one of those on purpose ones, Nixie? That you're being purposely obtuse, or is this reality? You don't understand when somebody says if you're a real fan, you'll find a way. I don't know, man. I don't know, Nix. And again, if you've never done sales or any type of that kind of atmosphere, then yeah, you wouldn't understand that there is a way you talk to consumers. Absolutely, that's what advertising is. That's what marketing is. Otherwise, they would come out and say our game's broken, but buy it day one if you're a real fan. Okay, that's not going to work, right? So yeah, a lot of it's fluff, a lot of it's niceties, a lot of it is that. So again, like I said, had he just ended it with "It's not my decision, not my call," that's all he had to say. It'd been totally cool. Could care less. Again, like I said, if it was $80, I'd still probably buy it day one because I'm a Borderlands fan. I wouldn't have a problem with the $80. I would have said something about it, but I would, again, probably bought it. So, all right.
Yeah, again, that's the main thing for sure.
Anyways, anyway, great show today. Yeah, Steele and I had like wide-ranging conversations here, like again, all over the place. I love this. This is why I love coming here because the free form is beautiful, and you guys do drive a lot of it. especially when Nixie's on one of his benders and decides to show up with his comments too as well.
Son of a bender.
Day drinking is never good.
God.
Anyways,
Y'all are
no,
funny.
love you all. We love every single one of you and appreciate it. Again, it's all respect here, no matter what, even when we disagree. That's why we created this show. And it's been a pleasure catching up with my brother from another steel. Again, as we don't get to conversate during the week very much anymore. It's just, I think all of you are freaking fantastic, whether you're here live or whether you listen to us in the future, and whether it's 5 minutes or you give us the full 3-4 hours that we're here. You all are the best and you make this show go. So, again, I hope you all have a great long weekend. And if you are, have an extra day off for Memorial Day, of course, remember those, who did come before, and died for our freedom, here in the United States. And enjoy your extra day off if you are, if you do get that. Everybody else across the globe, I hope you have a great start to your week and a great start to your Monday, and whatever you got going on this week. But other than that, everybody, you know how to find me, Pongso, everywhere. This is my one and only show each week as of right now. Don't know when that's going to change or if it will ever change again. But for right now, this is where you find me on Living Split Screen. Of course, I'm going to shout out the man, Mr. Boomstick, a Double Barrel Gaming. Does it 5 freaking days a week. Go check out his channel for some hot takes. And that includes Tuesdays for the Xbox Factor podcast for 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Be there for that. All good things green. And then, God willing, Steel and I should be back next weekend on Saturday for another episode of Living Split Screen. Listen, y'all, it's the golden age of gaming. No matter what's going on in this industry, man, we got games, lots of them. So please, have a great weekend. Play what you love what you play, and I'll talk to y'all real soon. Steel, get us out of here, brother.
Much love, y'all. Y'all be safe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Just one question.